Welcome everybody to Talk That Talk, where we have the unfiltered.
You did not come to college to do marching band. Marching band may be helping pay for you to go to school, but at the end of the day, you're there to study music education.
Unscripted.
Priorities are wrong from the elementary perspective because we're not introducing students to music in an adequate program early enough.
Uncomfortable.
We the blacks, yes, you're gonna be overlooked if you're not producing, if you're not hanging with the cane, if you're not pumping, if you're not blowing, if you're not busting, if you're not entertaining, if you're not on that top level, if you're not in the high stats of visibility. Yes, you're going to be overlooked because at the end of the day, we, the blacks, don't care.
Conversation. Alright. All right. How's it going, everybody, man? Welcome, everybody, to Talk That Talk, where we have the unfiltered, unscripted, uncomfortable conversations about band, HBCU, band culture, music education, and more. Hey, I would be like, hey, let me go ahead and introduce the whole panel, but it's just me and the lovely Miss Maya. So, hello, Maya. How you doing today?
Hi. The new intro is crazy. Like that was fire.
I put a little thought into that, man. I worked on it. I did my best. So I appreciate you actually showing some love today.
And your best was that shit was fire. Like, I can't lie. Like, it was quite entertaining. Well, very well done.
Well, thank you.
Very well done. You're welcome.
Thank you. I'm gonna give applause to myself. There we go.
As you should.
All right. So let's do this. So the first thing is, I know that the original context of what we were supposed to be doing tonight was actually supposed to be on concert band. Mm-hmm. But I actually want to go a different route. So I don't want to do the concert band thing. They were not going to do the concert band thing. So anybody who was in here who was checking to do or watch the concert band content, we will actually do Cranking Up That Wind Ensemble. We'll do the Cranking Up That Wind Ensemble next week. All right. So, but on top of that, though, because I have Maya here, I thought this was a great day, a awesome day to really just pick Maya's brain and have conversations about things that even I myself have thought about. And I see my homie Portia in the comment section, and I'm glad that she's here because one of the questions that I have tonight will deal directly with not necessarily you, Portia, but something that I always thought about when I was an undergrad. So first of all, let's go ahead and get this thing started the way we normally do. I know you've been like super busy, but have you seen or been around or saw anything music, band related, anything that you find interesting that you want to talk about?
The only music that I've listened to this week was the music at the gym. I've literally have been working at home, listening to my podcast, well, like my crime podcast while working, and listening to the music in my headphones at the gym. That's what this week has been giving. So if I say I'm out of touch every other week, I'm for sure out of touch this week.
Well, hey, I'm going to definitely say that I appreciate you even just saying that you were at the gym. Health is wealth.
Thank you. I appreciate that because you know what? The past 3 weeks, past 4 weeks, I've been traveling so much. I've been here back and forth. I know I haven't worked out in 3 or 4 weeks, and I was like, okay, now you're just going too far, girl. You're going too far. Summer's around the corner, spring's around the corner. We cannot do that. Can't do that.
Well, I'm glad that you're taking care of yourself. This spring break, I've made a decision that Unfortunately, it's only going to be during spring break though. But during this spring break, I've made a decision to try to get myself up and get moving again. I got to get back down to that size that I was at. Like I think it was what 2014, 2015, somewhere. Because remember when I got to PV, I was heavier, and then I just started like wasting away. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to get back to that wasting away. I didn't gain too much of that
You
meat.
want to be wasted away. You want to be like, damn,
Yeah,
where
yeah.
you go?
I got some meat to lose, but then I'm
I
also
feel
gonna,
you.
I'm gonna add some muscle to that. But yeah,
I feel
absolutely.
you.
I'm trying to get back to that, So I'm working on that. That's a slow process, but I'm so glad that you made
Fair.
the decision to go ahead and get yourself together because that is amazing. All
Thank you.
right, let us go ahead and jump into this. I hope you are ready to turn your thinking cap on and answer some of these questions. Honestly, a lot of these questions are going to be popping up as we go,
Okay.
so just be ready for them. They may be left field. And then during this time, if somebody wants to come in, I'm going to put the link in the chat. If you want to come in and actually get in on the conversation, this is going to be the first time I'm allow you to get in on the conversation while we are having the conversation. All right. So just be ready for that. I'm going to put the link in the chat after I ask the first question. All right. Yeah, I'm trying to hold on. Look, I got to put this one on the screen because that's where I'm at right now.
No, for sure.
Absolutely, the struggle is real. That Rona weight put us on a terrible situation, man. Sitting back in the comfy chair, eating your snacks. I was about to say ho hos, but don't nobody eat ho hos like that. At least I don't. I gave them things up. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. The first question I actually have is the question I was thinking about as soon as I saw Portia. As a dancer, when you see young ladies come in and they try out for whatever dance line they're trying out for and they do not make it, what is the thought process when they go to the other auxiliary groups?
I mean, honestly, to be frank, I really think that well, for me, I chose my school based off of the dance team. Like it had nothing to do with PV's culture. It had nothing to do with anything like that. I chose to go to PV because I wanted to be a Black Fox. There was no other way for me. So I think that in the realm of not making your quote unquote dream team, I think that, people go to the other teams just to kind of not necessarily sacrifice, but to use that as kind of like in sports, how you have off season. It's basically off season or additional training, or it's like, well, hey, I couldn't do this, so at least I can dance, or at least I can get the aesthetic of what was, and I'll try out later. I think it's a good way to not get rusty, especially if we're talking about being in college and school. A lot of times we don't have the funds, the resources, the time availability to go take classes in the next nearest city, especially if you're talking about being in Timbuktu like PV, So I think it's just kind of like, well, shit, I didn't make this one. Let me go try out for the next one. For some, for others who is like, now, if I wouldn't have made Foxes, I don't know. I don't know if I would have went Panther Doll route. There's nothing against Panther Dolls. I just know that I wanted to do a specific thing, and there's a specific style that speaks to me. So potentially, no, I probably wouldn't have went to be a Panther Doll. But I think it's just for the majority of people, it's like, well, if not this, then that. If I can't do this, then I'm going to do the second next best thing, and I'll try it again, or maybe I'll find something else that I like.
But what about like going to like Twirling Thunder, right? Or I know TSU has majorettes, which I find very interesting because I know a lot of twirlers. I don't really want to say majorettes because most original dance lines were called majorettes before they became dance lines.
Sure.
But like I know TSU has twirlers, and I find
Mhm.
it interesting that a lot of twirlers end up becoming dancers. So what about that concept? Like I didn't make the Foxes, so I'm just gonna go try for Twirling Thunder.
Are you saying, do I agree with it? Or are you saying, do I like align with that, or what?
I mean, do you agree with it? Also, like, what is the thought process when you see a girl who does that? Like, you tried out and you didn't make it, so you went to that, and it's like, yeah, I guess. Do y'all still like?
I mean, you can come back and try out for my line if you'd like to, but I see you. Like, yeah, you didn't make my line. So, of course, I only expect for you to go try out for the next quote unquote best thing or, what else is around. Now, in terms of twirling thunder or going from a dance line to something more auxiliary related, that's a harder transition, especially when we're talking in the collegiate level, because we ain't got time to be teaching you the basics. If you're just coming over here just to do something, just to fill your time up because you didn't make a squad, that's something totally different, because it's going to show that your heart isn't in it. You probably ain't going to make it through the season. You for damn sure probably ain't going to make it through band camp. So, I mean, that's just telling on it in and of itself. But, I mean, if you come back and try out for my line the next year, am I going to automatically X you out? No, but I am going to keep that. That may be something that comes up in terms of like interviews or our one-on-one discussion or our panel discussions, just to kind of see like, where is your, or like, what is it that you're actually after? Is it the art, or is it the aesthetic? Is it the being able to put makeup on and be in front of the band and people screaming your name? Because even still, that's not necessarily the types of people that I kind of want on my line, because it's bigger than that for me. Or to a lot of people who the art in the form of it, that's what we eat, breathe, and sleep. We don't really want just t-shirt wearers. So
it sounds very and this is what I was thinking when I asked the question. It sounds very fraternal sorority kind of thing, like, right?
It starts to sound that way, huh?
Right, because like I come in, not me specifically, but like I want to come in and I want to try out for this dance line. Then I don't make it, but then I go over and I try out for the flag line or the twirlers, and then all of a sudden y'all like, well, I mean, you try out next year, but you may not make it with us. I mean, that's kind of capped because you over there and you done tried out for us. Now I don't know, you kind of phony because you tried out for the other group.
I mean, yeah, it's giving that very much. Now, that's what I'm saying. We're gonna talk a little less talk. Now, politically speaking, I could speak, frame it in a different manner. But if we're being honest, there is that type of ownership. There is that type of I don't know what, I can't think of the word right now, but I feel a certain way about my line and the people that are on my line or that are going to be in the same organization. Well, damn, yeah, that definitely sounds very okay. Well, shit, it is what it is at this point.
So y'all be pledging them jazz shoes, huh?
No, I ain't said that. Come on and try out, girl. It's a lot of people who didn't make file. I mean, if we really want to get down to it, between some of the hubbub and the schmubub of the transitions that happened at PV, there was a point in time where I quote unquote technically didn't make it for reasons unknown.
What?
Yeah, but that's
not Maya. Come on now.
But that was a part of the whole politic type of transition from one director to another. That's where all that type of stuff came from.
I got that.
Yeah.
That. Understandable. Okay. All right. Yeah. That we started out light. I went ahead and put the link inside of the chat. If you want to tap in with us or call in with us as we're having this conversation, you are free to do so. Just make sure that your cameras are on, because one of the things we don't want to do, we don't want to be looking at a black screen. All right. So let's keep it moving, man. Welcome everybody to Talk That Talk. We have the unfiltered, and we'll get unfiltered today, trust me. Unscripted, uncomfortable conversations about band, HBCU band culture, music education, and more. Go ahead and smash that like daddy as soon as you walk in the door. All right. And also, please make sure that you subscribe to the network and turn on notifications. We are now officially, because I say it every week, but I got it straight this week. I was able to sit down and take some time out, but we are now officially on all podcasts and networks. We have officially made it to Apple Podcasts. I'm so happy about that. And then also, please make sure that you check out the merchandise. Remember, we are still in the month of March, so you can get 15% off your purchase. You just use the code LukeBD and you can get 15% off your purchase. All right, let's keep it rolling. So we kind of started it this way, and I want to kind of keep on that same train here. So I've seen this, I guess, with my own eyes. It wasn't necessarily when I was in undergrad, but I have seen it in different places. I got to ask this question: do auxiliary lines have beef
between each other?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
So
Go ahead. Go ahead.
damn.
I told you. I wanna go ahead and put it out there.
Yes. So, God damn it. Okay. Yeah, because it depends on how your school structures auxiliaries. Hi. It depends on how your school is structured. So if I can only speak towards what I'm used to, right? So at PV, especially with the change in directors, change in leadership, change in the way in which what auxiliary meant to the band and how it was portrayed, there was a whole transition in terms of that. But overall, in general, it's usually the dancers or the dance line is going to always be in the front. They're all typically are given more time to shine. In the stands, typically other auxiliaries, because of due to space, due to whatever. Now, I hate to say hierarchy, but if we're just totally being honest, these are not my words. It's just the culture or what have you. The hierarchy, the dancers will always be there. There will be a time when the auxiliary or the twirlers or the flags or whatever, they may not get a feature or they may not get to perform in the stands. So that of course causes beef because it's like, well, damn, why they get to and we don't get to, and we sitting here and they out there. Of course, that's going to cause a rift. It also gets nasty when it comes time to, well, what they get to wear, why they get to wear this versus, and we can't wear this, and they get to do 8 counts, and we can't get to do 8 counts. So yeah, it gets a little nasty. It gets a little atrocious. It gets a little. But I mean, anytime you have women, period, it can get a little catchy. But these are the reasons why some shit might pop off. It might be like pow, 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 shots fired over any little thing. Hell, it even comes down to like time on the field with the band. Why they get to run their feature more times than we do, or why they got their own bus, or just if we gonna have a conversation, we can have it.
So I first want to say this. Hey, Portia, how you doing? Everybody, welcome Portia to the panel. I gotta say it the right way. Soror, right? Yes, there we go. See, that's I'm not used to that, but I'm gonna go ahead and get used to that. So, but that's the first thing. The second thing is, one of the reasons why I thought about this is because as a high school band director, I witnessed that. This is kind of where it's coming from. I had twirlers and I had flags, and we had a dance line at the school, but the school itself, history wise, had kept the band and the dance line separated. And typically, the prior band director, before me, would put the dance girls in the back, and twirlers would go in the front. And so when I took the job, I was like, I ain't never seen that before, and I'm not gonna do that, except for when I was in high school. But then when I was in high school, our twirlers were in the front and our drill team was in the back.
Well, are we talking about back of the band, or are we just talking about like
back of the band, like brass, percussion, woodwind? Then
now you got me back there with the piccolos.
yeah, that's all you was hearing. And so when I got there, I said, no, that's not gonna happen. We're gonna put the drill team in the front. We're gonna have the twirlers in the front. And it caused a huge problem. Not even between specifically the girls, but then the coaches as well. And the coaches was beefing. And I was like, yo, this is crazy. Portia, what you got? What's your thoughts on this, sweetie?
I want to back up a little bit because I wasn't fast enough. I'm in here doing my grad school work, but when you said the topic, I had to put my wig on and a hat.
I know that's right, because I need to pop off and put mine on.
Is that your Legion hat?
This is a Legion hat.
We wear the same one. Hold on, let me see.
Look at
yes, come on. So I'm gonna answer this. Can we go back to the first question? I don't want to hijack the show, but
you good. Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm going to answer it from the perspective of somebody who marched flag and Silcat at Norfolk State. And now that I am a coach and I coordinate the Silcats, I'm going to answer it from that perspective. So the first thing is I thought it was a little strange when I got to the Silcats and we would take people who didn't make hot ice. But what I will say is at the time, band camp was longer. So we actually, some of those people turned out to be some of the best Silcats like ever. Like they really put their foot, you know, in it. They're all into it, learn the technique, which we don't twirl like anybody else, and became great at it. So that's that. As a actual coordinator coach now, I don't have time for that. Band camp is short. The hours aren't as long. We don't have as much time. We have all these extra performances and different things that come up so quick, like the National Battle of Bands, first thing out of the gate. There's not enough hours in the day to take somebody who did not make hot ice at this juncture. It's too much going on. I don't have time for that. And it worked before, but I don't see it working now. So that's my perspective on that. As far as beef, yeah, there's a lot of beef. And I think it's worse now than it was back then. I can't say in my time in the Legion that I ever like was beefing with hot ice or beefing with the guards. Like that was never a thing. Like we had our lane. I was okay with where I chose to be. You know, I auditioned to be over here. I'm okay with that. I will give one example of one time that I was like, oh, hell no. So I didn't say this out loud at the time because I was a rookie, but it was Delaware State 2006. It was sleeting and snowing at that game. And, you know, there were different conversations about, okay, hot ice needs to wear pants. They decided not to wear pants and wore some shorts. And after halftime, they went and got on the damn bus.
Oh.
So, Julie, I don't know if you remember this, but the whole band was tight. Like, it was freezing cold out there. And then when we got to the bus, not only was they on the bus, they had hot chocolate. And I was like, oh, what part of the game this is?
No, I remember that. I remember that now. Yeah.
I could not. That's the only time I was like, well, who the hell they think they are?
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, like they had their lane. We had ours. Really didn't bother me. Like, you know, we didn't really clash like that. I wasn't that kind of person anyway. But yeah. So that's the only time I kind of was like, oh no, I don't know what's going on here, but this doesn't work for me because I wanted to be on the bus. I didn't have no pants on either. And I would have liked some hot chocolate. But so that's the only time I think that I was like, oh no.
But I think too, just kind of getting, you know, to Norfolk, because there's such a rich tradition of the auxiliary lines being so different, you know, I don't really see the idea of that beef happening, right? Because like just uniforms, right? Maya was talking about that whole why they get to wear that versus like the uniform for the Silks is pretty standard. It's pretty traditional. It hasn't changed. I mean, there have been small tweaks here and there, but in the history of the line, it's been pretty much the same. So there is no expectation coming in that the uniform is going to be different. And honestly, I don't really see it changing unless you get somebody coming in there that just ain't got nothing to do with, you know, the program at all. But if we keep, you know, alumni in there, the alumni ain't changing that. So I don't really see that kind of beef happening amongst the auxiliary lines. And it's crazy to hear that there was even that kind of situation where somebody would sit back like, oh no, this ain't what's up. This ain't fair. But I do remember the whole band being like, nah, they need to get off that bus. Yeah, I remember that.
And then James went up to Doc and was like, all I know is them, I'm not going to say what he called them, better eat last because the rest of us been cold.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that.
But yeah, and you're right about that. I think it happens more, or I could see it happening more if there was competition, because some flag lines put their flags down and do a lot more dancing than we do. That's not really our thing. That's not really, we do that in the stands, but it's not in the same way. The movements aren't, so there's no clashing, or we have our, it's more of a, they have their lane, we have ours. The two should never meet here. So
now I'm gonna ask you this, Portia, since you on here. And I want you to be super honest with me. I know it's kind of difficult because you still in the know and in the room. But has there ever been a time as a Silk, and just even in the history of the Silks, where y'all were like, man, can we do at least one different uniform change?
to what though?
Just in general, whether it be for a show or whether it been for a battle or something like that.
You mean change during the performance, or just wear?
No, just have a different piece, just to have a different, outfit for that particular whatever for a performance.
Well, they tried that one of them years, and it was not. It was an epic fail. I don't think it looked good. The other thing you have to consider with the Silkettes is that some of that stuff, glitter, is not going to look good with a straight face. Like, we don't smile, we twirling real rigid, real hard. Sequence doesn't go with that. So you just have to, it all aligns with kind of how we are as a section, how we are as a squad. So if you go to change the outfit, you would almost have to change the style, because otherwise it probably would look really strange together. But that's just my 2 cents. Now, we started, when I got there, and I think they did it a couple of times before I arrived, we would wear different shirts to rep the section instead of wearing in a battle the Legion t-shirt and things like that. And then we got into wearing like the black yoga pants, so they're a little bit more fitted than the swish that we used to wear. There's marching in doesn't swish anymore. It's joggers and stuff. But yeah, those are some different things. They do some things that are different from when I was on the line. Like, they wear pearl earrings. We didn't wear earrings at all.
Yeah. Well, no jewelry, no nothing.
No nothing. So there have been some changes to, which I think are improvements. I don't think a pearl earring is going to kill the, the vibe or the style of the section. But overall, I think you would have to change the style in order to really change the uniform drastically.
Makes sense. Maya, let me ask you this question. Has there ever been any kind of, or I'm not going to necessarily say a PV because, I don't think so, because I think when we got to PV, it was still very similar to Norfolk in the style of what Twirling Thunder was. They had their set uniform, and it was what it was, and it was there. Now in the current years, it has changed over time. But has there ever been a situation where you have, seen where there has been beef between, a flag line or a twirling line and dancers when it does come to the uniform? Because as I'm starting to look now, and like Portia just said it, there are a lot of flag lines that are really just dance lines with poles in their hands. So have you ever seen any type of beef like that when it comes to the uniform, or when it comes to dancing, or when it comes to any of those things?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that comes from the change in direction, or the change in the way that the section is modeled, or the what the aesthetic, or what is trying to be captured from the section in itself. When I was crabbing, and years before, when it was the straight beret daddies with the with spats and boots and and all that, and then we changed to the jackets and shorts with the they weren't Nancy's, but they were I think it was like a white boot or something. I can't even remember. I think that was 2011, 2012 maybe, and then it just kind of came from there. So of course, with that change, when you offer up something, and it, that line, it starts to go down and down and down. Of course, it's able to be knocked down even quicker or even more aggressively. So now, oh, you saying that I can wear makeup now? Okay, well then you said I can wear makeup, so let's put on tights too. Okay, you said I can do makeup and tights. Okay, let's do this 3. Okay, you let me do this, let me do this 4. So of course it's going to gradually change into, or morph rather, into something different. So absolutely, when that time comes and there are no more set lanes rather, then yes, there's going to be some type of issue, because now they're blurred lines instead of there being established sections, established what do you call these, partitions. They're blurred lines. So I've absolutely seen it, I've witnessed it, I've dealt with it. But again, that starts from the top of what is allowed, or what is set forth, or what is the overall vision, and it goes from there.
Okay. All right. That, I would have never thought that it was just so much of that inner working within, auxiliary, but
Child, please
it's interesting.
write a book. It's very interesting, and it's not a one trick pony at all. It's so many different facets. Yeah.
Okay. All right, well, let's keep it moving, man. If you're just tuning in, welcome everybody to Talk That Talk. We have the unfiltered, unscripted, uncomfortable conversations about band, HBCU band culture, music education, and more. As soon as you come in, go ahead and smash that like, daddy. Let's get these likes up, all right? Let's make sure that the likes match the number of viewers that we have. Also, please make sure you subscribe to the network and turn on notifications. You can also find us on all your podcasts and networks. Just look us up at Real Talk That Talk. All right, here's the next one. And I'm glad I saw Justin in here because he was down in Houston filming. I think this past week or this past weekend. So this is actually going to go right into what he was filming. Outside bucking lines. Outside bucking lines. Why or why not? Outside bucking lines. Why or why not? Whoever want to take it first, y'all can go ahead, because both of y'all,
I'm tired.
Nah, don't get sleepy on me now.
No, I ain't talking about sleepy. I'm just talking about Portia, if you'd like to go first, you have the floor. It's totally up to you.
I see the benefit of it providing young ladies something to do, but it's not teaching them what it's like to actually be in a marching band, and what those requirements are. And so I think it's skewing band culture some. Because most dance lines, and I'm going to say most, are going to require some kind of technique. It's going to require that you can also be graceful at times and not gush. So I don't see a lot of that on those lines. I see a lot of what you said, bucking, and one style of dance, when the dance lines that I'm fans of have versatility, can do more than one thing. So I think it's nice that people are getting out and doing stuff and not sitting in the house on social media all the time. But I think it's going to take a lot of work to undo that when those individuals go and try out for college dance lines. So that's my view on that.
I agree with especially the skewed portion. So things like DD4L, the whole community based. Again, yes, it is very righteous. It is very prominent. It is very relevant in terms of community dance standards and trying to keep the youth out of trouble and giving them some structure and a way to everything is falling. I'm sorry. A way to kind of unleash or to be a part when there may not be anything like it around. Now, when shows like, I want to say Book or Die, but I don't even know if that was the name of the show. But like we say with anything else, where the attraction is, where the house is, where the entertainment is, where the money seems like it's going, where the oohs and ahs, that's where the focus is going to go. And as much as I would like to say that even collegiate dance lines or dance lines who have a history and who have been having lines and have had a presence and have had a foundation for year over year, I cannot say truthfully that even some of those dance lines did not kind of lend an ear like, well, what y'all doing over there? Well, what's going on? Because it's inevitable. If you see that if that's the hype of the now, then of course, whether consciously or subconsciously, you are going to start moving in a different way. And I mean, frankly, I had a hand in it too, right? When I started to get a little bit more comfortable after I got on the line and made my quote unquote presence, it was like, well, shit, if I can hit this a little harder or do this a little wider or whatever, and it's giving the people are like, okay, it looks good or it feels good or it's giving a different vibe. Okay, well, this is what we're doing, and this is how we're about to transition. That goes that same morph, whether consciously or subconsciously, you're going to pick up what you see, right? What you're attracted to, you're going to start to internalize that in some type of way. And I think that that's where we are now. Now it's just gotten a little bit far-fetched to where that is what is expected. And it's like, if you ain't bucking, you ain't doing nothing. So go ahead and get out the way with it. So now it has transposed, or it has shown itself as that's the way all dance lines should be, when really in essence, there's a difference in terms of style factor. There's a difference in terms of, like we keep saying, aesthetic. There's a difference in terms of the art, technique versus this versus that. And there's a certain way and a difference in executing it. So that's the hard part. And I think that is part of the issue of where we are now and what is our current culture and what do we attribute it to.
So I want to say this because you said a lot of stuff. Both of you guys said a lot of stuff, and I want to comment on all of it, but I'm gonna go back for a second. I have two daughters, and my oldest daughter right now, she's like gymnast / dancer, I guess. And you remember my oldest because she was dancing around everywhere with y'all. But I would not allow her to join a group like those. Am I wrong for that?
I'm not a parent.
I'm not a parent either, so we're in that same boat. But I don't think so. I think some of the stuff that I see now, I know that my parents came to all of my games, all of the Norfolk games from Richmond when I was, it was an hour and a half, even when I was in high school. If I did some of those things that I see those teams do, my mom would have been like, it's not for you. And the reason I'm saying that is because college lines doing it to me is a little bit different. These are adults. But would you want your preteen daughter doing some of that stuff? My answer, based on what I know my parents would have said, is no. Some of that stuff to me is not age appropriate. And that's just my opinion.
I mean, I can agree with that. So I'm yes and no, because again, I am not a parent. I do not aspire to be a parent in any close nature. That's not happening for me anytime soon. But part of it is that, okay, when I was 13 or when I was 12, life looked a little bit different than it does now. Now the 13 and 12-year-olds was looking like I was looking when I was 21, 22. So it's like, well, life has escalated, and what has become the new quote unquote norm for the masses, not necessarily for people who share a type of common thought process. So life looks a lot differently. So if we, well, damn it, I knew that we was going to end up here. If we talk about school, like Miss Tracy Young Byron, I can look it up real quick because I don't want to say her name wrong, but her group that is based out of Miami, I believe they're in Miami. They've gone viral thousands and times over, right?
Is that
And so
the lady who does the with the girls and the strutting and all the time? And
exactly. Also featured on DD4L. I can't think of the name of the show, but has competed with her girls as well, or competed against rather her girls as well. So her group has kind of changed the trajectory, and another one of the groups that put this extended culture on the map. So in that sense, down there, and with people who kind of have that same mindset, that's fine. It's the norm because it's just there ain't nothing wrong with it. Now, in terms of I don't know. I grew up in a different way. So I don't know if me wearing the same things or doing the same types of movement to the extent in which I see things going on now, would I personally be comfortable or would my parents be comfortable? Probably not. But again, that was a different time. So I can't speak for now. I think that I think I'm gonna say it like this. I think we've gone a little overboard to where sometimes when I'm looking at these clips, I can't tell whether the girls are in high school or in college, and that's where the problem lies. Because it's some stuff that even when I was in college, the high school girls are wearing right now, and I'm like, damn, I couldn't even wear a leotard without no fringes in the front or the back, and y'all got the back and the booty and the front and everything all out with the additional cutouts on the side and this and that. And I was a whole quote unquote grown ass woman and couldn't even show my little dookie shoe. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's a hard line, but I just say do what works for you and your family. And I'm gonna I'm gonna leave it at that.
I don't know why you had to end off like that. Like,
because I gotta stay neutral. Because when we go viral, I need them to know I'm gonna be.
I mean, yeah, it may go viral. I'm just gonna be honest with you, because you're talking about a culture that people will live, breathe, and die, right? So
oh, for sure.
So
and it's straight to young Byron, just so I can make that clear. Ain't nobody gonna call me talking about I did this, that, and the third.
I'm glad you brought her up, right? And even the DD4L girls and all that kind of stuff, right? Because my question is, because as I've kind of watched them and I've kind of looked at them, blah blah blah, I've noticed that a lot of their girls end up becoming, on getting on different squads, and then a couple of them have actually become major in the, I guess you want to say, dance community. So when you're talking about these different bucking groups, does it translate well onto the next level?
Okay, I have two things with that. One, yes, because the talent is there. And if we think about the styles that the majority of the girls who were on Bring It or what have you, the types of teams that they go to, J-Sets, Golden Girls, who else? I can't think. Those are top schools that I can think of right now. There's a particular style that kind of is similar, or you kind of get that same feel. Whereas you take Cameron, who went from DD4L and went to Dolls, which is a complete 180 if we're looking at the whole picture. So yes, is it? And I'm sorry, what was the question? Just make sure I'm using the same verbiage.
I was just asking, does it translate well going from the bucking to dance lines, blah blah blah?
Yes, it could. It could. I think that speaks to the dancer in itself and the extent of their technical abilities and the extent of their talent. Now, also, my other side of it is, well, anything is going to attract a big name where you're going to get that much more exposure from those names coming to your team or what have you. I think that has something to do with it too. Maybe not as much, or could be more, depending on how you want to look at it. But I think that has something to do with it too. I just don't believe that if I know a big name that has been bringing in all these views from this popular show, if they come into my line and they choose my line, that I can't not use that as part of my decision process of putting them on that current said line. That's just the politics side of it. But, you know,
Okay. Portia.
that could be far-fetched.
Portia, any thoughts on that?
I agree.
I agree.
I don't know if it's always the style. I think some of it is politics, like was already stated. But I think some of it is, what I will say is that I think that the work ethic translates well.
Sure.
They seem to work the hell out of those kids. So I know sometimes you get people who are just lazy. So if you got somebody that you know is going to give it 1,000% because that's what they're used to doing, I think that translates well. But I do think in some instances the technique or the style may not translate, and you may need to switch that up some. But I do think that it teaches them a work ethic and a willingness to put it all out there and perform. Those qualities are highly sought after. When I can find somebody that is already killing, that came from somewhere killing, that's less work that I have to do as a coordinator.
Agreed. I agree with that. And especially that's used to doing something in a particular type of way. If we're talking about, what is it? Tracy Young Byron. I'm sorry, I forgot again. There was a clip that she had that went viral where the standards that she has for her dancers that nobody would ever think, like they are required to be in class, multiple classes, going from technique, different styles, ballet, modern, Horton, all types of things. The grades themselves, she checks their grades. I think I don't know if it's every 6 weeks. However, they aren't allowed to have certain hair colors. They aren't allowed to have certain. They can't get their nails done. You know, like all these different things that people look forward to or think is a part of being on a quote unquote line. She keeps them from that so that they are able to stay structured and they're really able to dig into the art. And like you said, the work ethic and really the push and the force, the driving force behind the talent to really build that up and to build a true foundation for them to go to do whatever they want to do past collegiate level, to be professional dancers if that's what they're aspiring to do. So definitely so.
Yeah, and just kind of going off of all of what you all said, it kind of reminded me. I don't know if did y'all remember that show that Gremlin had that was following the Orchesis
on Netflix?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and remember there was one of the young ladies that came from a bucking line, and she was trying to get on the performing group, but she was kind of struggling a little bit because a lot of the technique that she didn't have. So I find it interesting the conversations that you guys are having, and just the way that you guys are interpreting it, because I think that it's really interesting when you look at the different, transitions from certain groups into higher level groups or even in the professional world. All right, let's keep it moving, because the next question I have actually goes directly into what you guys were just talking about. So let's do it the right way. If you're just tuning in, welcome everybody to Talk That Talk, where we have the unfiltered, unscripted, uncomfortable conversations about band, HBCU band culture, music education, and more. Go ahead and smash that like button. If you just walked in, go ahead and smash that like daddy right now. You know what I'm saying? Let's get these likes up. We got to get these algorithms going, man. All right. Also, please make sure that you subscribe to the network and turn on notifications so that way you can get everything that we have going on. Also, you can find us on all of your podcasts and networks at Real Talk That Talk. Let's keep it going within the same conversation you guys are having. Are we moving away from the craft and focused on entertainment? Are we moving away from the craft and focused on entertainment? You had to laugh, Mike.
Sorry. Portia, would you like to go first, or did that
go first last time? Stop doing that to that girl.
I don't forget. There's no.
Yeah, I know you forgot. You forgot that lady's name, and you looked it up, and then 2 seconds later you forgot it.
I'm nervous. You got me on the spot out here talking about these folks bringing out dead skeletons and whatnot.
Hey,
Boy, I'm nervous.
sometimes the skeleton has to come out of the
You
closet.
got me on here and looking crazy, crushing, and disgusting and busted.
You look amazing, Maya. You look amazing.
Thank you. I got
There we
5 nails with 2 hands.
Well, can't nobody see your nails.
Every time I talk with my hands,
But it looked like they all there. You the one who brought the attention to it because nobody would ever notice that you never said nothing. You look like you got all 10 nails on you. Now we know.
I'm babbling because I'm nervous. Okay.
Are we moving away from the craft and focused on the entertainment, Maya?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, because if we want to talk about craft, what is the definition of craft? While I'm looking that up, to me, craft is what individualized the teams from the start. Craft and the art itself is what made each dance line what it was. There was a reason why the Sting is what a Sting is. There was a reason why the Foxes were the Foxes. There was a reason why this line was that line. And right now, going back to the thought of blurred lines, those lines are blurring because you see one group or one style getting more house or more attention than the other. So now you're like, well, I need to bring some of that over here. Or if sex is what's selling, okay, I need to add a little bit more sex to what we got going on. If bucking is selling, I need to add a little, but we need to get down a little bit lower, even if that goes against what history said, that goes against what what was instated as the style and fashion or whatever or whomever these lines were fashioned after. Of course, we're getting away from the entertainment, we're getting away from the craft of it all because of what is selling, what is getting the most attention, what is drawing in the money, and what's doing numbers on YouTube and Instagram and bandhead, and what keeps the forums going, and what keeps the bandheads and whomever, the stands and the fans come on out. I mean, even the senses come down to, like we've stated before, isn't the crafts, I missed that one. That kind of goes back to what we were talking about in terms of summer band, right? There is a reason why at some point in time girls on a particular line may go back to summer band because they get to do a little bit more, right? Because there's more leniency during those types of environments that they can't do in their normal teams or their year-round teams. Now it's all just one big crashing wave. So yeah, I do think that we're getting away from the quote-unquote craft. I think that there is a way to have entertainment and the craft and the foundation. I think there's a way to honor tradition as well as to still stay relevant. But I think we're going about it in the wrong way. Now, what the answer to that is, I don't have the full answer. I am not anybody's coach, director, coordinator, or anything, but that's how I feel about it.
You brought up the girls on the summer bands. There's some thoughts I have about that, but I'm gonna let that ride for a second. Go ahead, Portia.
So I know one of the comments was, isn't the craft to provide entertainment? Well, is it going to be entertaining when everybody starts to look alike? Is my response to that. There were distinctions in these lines that made them different and made you want to look at them, that made you want to. I'm not one of those people who's like, Norfolk's the best thing that has ever happened. I like auxiliaries from every group. I watch stuff from everybody because I like different styles. But what I am seeing now is that a lot of it is starting to look the same. A lot of it is starting to blend and you don't know what line you're looking at sometimes, which is not okay. I will say that the Silkettes have kind of have a chokehold on our style. We're going to ride this thing till the wheels fall off. And I mean, I've had people even recently say, the lines have not been that big. Are you thinking about switching it up? as opposed to what? I just, that's our craft. We've made some changes, made some improvements. They do tosses and stuff now. We didn't do that when I was in the section.
They do tosses?
Yeah.
When did this happen?
It's been like 5 years. They toss.
Dang, I'd have missed all that.
Yes.
I just want to see one toss. That's all. Listen, when we were in I'm sorry to cut you off, Portia, but when we were in undergrad, we were like, yo, the snap on 8, all right, that's fine. That's what y'all do. But can we just get a toss? A toss. Mm-hmm. Just one. Y'all do tosses now, man.
If you things from this year, there's at least one toss in every routine. Most of them have 2. And if we're going into a battle situation, it's going to be more. So there have been some things that we've added and changed, and shout out to Chanel Woods on when she got them back. She did add some changes and some improvements, which I'm going to try to carry on. But we have a distinct style, and that's our craft, and nobody can do what we do. And so even some of the other flag lines that I've used to have that same kind of edge, I will not name people on here, starting to look like everybody else too. And
I will.
It was a couple of lines that I used to be like, okay, we would like to see them one day. Not anymore. Because it starts to look like everybody else's. So the goal is definitely to entertain. But to me, entertainment is having your own niche, to bring something different to the table and not be a carbon copy of anybody else.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Scarfinger, I didn't see it. My bad if you did say it. You said it at 8:51. Good Lord, my bad. But Portia, I never even thought about that, right? Because like me being a person from Texas, I grew up watching TSU and Southern and Jackson and blah, blah, blah. So there was a certain style of band that I was used to. Going to Norfolk, I knew Norfolk itself, the band was different. But then just looking at the Silks, I was like, yo, they are like precise, they're pristine, they're clean, they don't miss a beat. I mean, y'all be noticing stuff that we don't notice. We be like, what was wrong with that? They be like, shoot, they missed this. And I was like, I guess. But one of the things that I know as, during undergrad and as alumni, that I always was like, man, it would be dope to see them do something different. But when you put it in that perspective, I actually understand why it hasn't changed. And that's actually pretty dope, because Norfolk within itself is just different. The whole band is different. And we pride ourselves on being different. And understanding now why the Silks do not, will not, and have not changed makes so much more sense. Because you are absolutely right. The lines are starting to become blurred, especially when it comes from a flag perspective. All right, what's up, Justin? What's going on, bro? You obviously got something to say. I know you do, bro. So go ahead.
Yeah, y'all going ham on this thing. This probably, some of these clips will go viral. I already know how you gonna chop these up. So hi, just a Fast Time Productions. I took some notes in the car when I was driving home.
Just the notes. You came prepared.
Yeah, it's not, I see this stuff every weekend, so it's like my opinion be totally different. I'm gonna start back. Norfolk is different. Let's just keep that there. Norfolk is different. The Army mentality, the you know what I'm saying? We talk about y'all every week. Y'all different. So whatever y'all doing as y'all style and staying that way, look, I appreciate it because it's made to be different. Like when I came to the game this year, needed that routine to was that Jasmine something, not Jasmine something, that feeling. I'm looking like that. Yeah, that was my first time seeing them do a routine, because this past season and last season, I've really been highlighting flags all over. My favorite flag team is Kentucky State Silks. Like they routines are so cold that sometimes they're at a dance party, but now you be like, damn, they out dancing the dance team. But when I seen them, I'm like, okay, this is good. It's different. Let's keep different. I'm like, okay, I wanted to see a little something. I'm looking at like the uniform, like you said, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it give me militant drill team vibes. How you say they don't smile. I'm like, man, these girls, why they can't smile? Like, a little smile won't hurt, but That's y'all style. So if you're looking at styles, you know what I'm saying, we just gotta appreciate the style. Now, my personal opinion on it.
Now, Justin, I'm gonna tell you. Before you keep going, I'm gonna tell you this. When my freshman year, I can't remember her last name. Her first name was Ebony though, but she was the Silkette section leader, and she scared the hell out of me. Like literally scared the hell out of me. I don't know why they had me do it. I was a rookie. I ain't know no better. They were like, "Hey, could you bring these flag poles to the bus? We were going on a trip somewhere." And I picked up the bag, but I didn't know how to pick it up right. So the flag poles start going everywhere, man. And I'm telling you, when they say they never smile, blah blah blah. When they are in their mode, ain't nothing nice coming out of them. And Ebony, man, when I tell you, she scared the hell out of me. I never talked to her again because I was afraid to talk to her. Like I just after she got into me about messing up the flag poles, I was like, nah, I'm good. Yeah, so it's real. That's what they do.
I mean, that's the militant mindset, I guess, when I look at Norfolk. I mean, back to my personal, I do flags in general. I do think that we need to put some more respect on their name. Like, it's bad enough that, just saying it honestly, flags mainly be a lot of times girls that probably couldn't make the dance team or girls who still want to be involved, or they always give the stigmatism of the fat girls get on the flag team. But sometimes, like, if you pay attention, that's why I've been highlighting them a lot these last past season. They be going hard. Like they really go hard. And when you think about the time it put into like having your flag at the right angle, at the right part of the song, and then making it'd be some cool stuff. So that's why I made it my duty these past 2 years. That's how I noticed how cold the Silks. I put them up against anybody. Sorry, Kentucky State Silks. Their routines are spectacular, and the band give them a feature every field show. I don't think too many bands can say that like HBC, but every field show you're gonna get the dance team feature and the flag the feature. Sometimes the flag feature be better than that. Let's get to these majorettes because that's what's gonna go viral. I do agree. I feel where you was coming from, Luke, when you was like you won't let your daughter get on one of these teams. Trust me, I do. You know what I'm saying? But by me being in the culture and I get booked a lot to do these really that's all I'm doing this season, these events. When I first got into it, I was like, dang, like, it's a lot. It is a lot. But me watching the culture grow, they have more rules and boundaries on the type of moves these girls do than you think. You would have to pay attention to know. I encourage anybody to go to these competitions like the minis, the little bitty ones from like 7 to like 4 or whatever it is. If they do like a certain move that may be sexualized or something like that, they'll get penalized on points and like they may even get deducted or disqualified. Like that's how strict the major culture will go. Now you may not pay attention because you only seeing it as when it hit the internet. You know what I'm saying? Like they can't even do slow routines on some competitions. I compliment Miss Diana because every one of her competitions she'll stop the whole show to be like, no, we can't do this. You know what I'm saying? So as far as the majorette community goes, as far as like the inappropriateness, I guess I see a lot of hate come from like older people because times change, and it be seeming to me sometimes like y'all just kind of mad that y'all didn't have this opportunity when y'all was small. You know what I'm saying? Because some of them be hate. Sometimes we as adults, we try to put they too young to be doing such and such things when y'all was doing it just wasn't in uniform. You know what I'm saying? Like let's not act like y'all didn't have Freaknik and stuff growing up, and y'all been looking to listen to Uncle Luke since y'all was like little. Like let's stop playing. Like we can't like be saying a lot because they have the opportunity to do something your parents didn't let you do and it wasn't the norm. You know what I'm saying? So that's me kind of helping up for the majorette community in that regard because I record them every weekend. Last thing, these majorettes taking over the HBCU dance lines and social media. I just feel like social media rules. I hate to say it that way, but if your band want to be popping and they'll have a social media presence, we talk about this every year. You're gonna lose in this band game. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes these high school teams, we need to call a spade a spade. These high school teams run circles around these kind of teams. You know what I'm saying? It goes back to they shouldn't be wearing V cuts and things. Now I agree. You know what I'm saying? Some things, but the ability to dance or their talent, I think sometimes they try to throw everything at it to knock their talent. Now, I'm not gonna say if I had a dance team and I see this high schooler has some thousands of followers or some thousands of people who fans and they come from these DD4 teams. One, they probably gonna make the team anyway because they're better than probably almost every girl. But low key, like if we want some attraction to come to our bands, you kind of would be a fool not to pick someone. Like let's like it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So that's just my take on it in a nutshell. As far as what I caught up on y'all, what y'all was talking about. I don't know how y'all would take that or whatever, but I just think just to get my insight as someone who sees it every day and I watch it. I watch like I recorded this dance team from when they was in a majorette and this girl went to a college team and I'm at the college game. I'm like, dang, she's still kicking butt. And somebody like, I don't use no examples, but that's not, but I think y'all get my point in it. I know this is gonna go left when you chop it up, Luke. So I just wanted to put my input on, like, I see it from all the spectrums, and to give a little insight more on somebody who just do this every day, every weekend. So yeah.
All right. I mean, you're not wrong. I mean, because honestly, we all entitled to our perspectives and our opinions. Don't get me wrong. And like I said, I don't think that you're wrong at all. And honestly, here's a fun fact. I actually judged a bucking competition before when I was in Beaumont, and that was actually Maya the first night that I met Phoenicia. But so I know and am aware of some of the rules and regulations that they do have, which I think is cool. And you're absolutely right. There is a situation where they do have those rules and those boundaries and things of that nature. So I don't see anything wrong with it. Now, for me, I'm not one of them kind of people who, like you said, as far as an older person and we just hating. I ain't hating. I know you're not talking about me specifically, but you on mute, bro. You on mute. Hello.
And
you on mute, but go ahead.
Oh, my bad. Shit. We watch our peers talk about something that's going on from the band. The band suck now. You ever look over them like, I march with you. You wasn't that good anyway to be talking about what's going on now. You know what I'm saying? So that's why, like, I know I like opinions. I say opinions from credible sources, but I can't act like I don't see it from a standpoint of how times change. And like sometimes we gotta, I ain't saying accept everything because you can't accept everything. You do have to have some type of standards and boundaries on everything that you do. But like it's some stuff that like if you don't adapt to the times or find a way to adapt to the time. It's crazy. Mr. Bethel was saying this on the interview the other day when he interviewed, I watched it on YouTube somewhere. You're gonna get like left behind. You know what I'm saying? And just keep it innovative. That's all I'm saying. And sometimes with the youth are doing now, it's gonna be the future. Sometimes you just have to accept it,
I mean, that's fair. I don't disagree with adapting with the times. I think you have to to move if you want to be relevant. You got to move with the culture. But I mean, I also do believe in the idea of the Norfolk. I guess you want to call it the Norfolk complex, right? You can still be who you are and move with the times. And
exactly.
I think that, to me, that kind of goes along with a lot of what everybody was saying about the blurred lines and blah, blah, blah. I think that a lot of people, because they want to continue being relevant, they're afraid to stay who they are while still moving with the times, if that makes sense. So I think that's half of it. And then the other half of it is, the bucking lines and all that kind of stuff. Like I said before, I mean, to each their own. If you choose to put your baby into that, that's on you. Because I know a lot of people have their own thought process, and that's cool. I'm not judging anybody or knocking anybody, but I would just prefer, and I may get bashed for this or whatever.
I understand. Everybody raise their kids different.
Everybody different, right? I would just prefer to put my baby in the ballet class and let her grow up through that system. Instead of putting her out there in front of everybody, and hitting them gush daddies for 10 minutes. But that's just me. That's just my personal opinion. Like I said, I ain't gonna tell nobody else how to parent. That ain't my job. All right. We got one more topic actually. So let's do it the right way. And Justin, you can stay on, brother. We ain't even got to go to a after party. You can stay right here,
okay,
bro.
Gotcha.
All right. So if you just tuned it in, man, welcome everybody to Talk That Talk. We have the unfiltered, unscripted, uncomfortable conversations about band, HBCU band culture, music education, and more. If you just coming in, go ahead and smash that like daddy. I don't even care if you give me a thumbs down. I always say that. You can give me a thumbs up, a thumbs down. It don't matter. I wish they had hearts on YouTube, but oh well. But whatever, it don't matter. Just give me something. All right, go ahead and click that like button. And also, please make sure you subscribe to the network and turn on notifications so that you can get all of the updates that we have going on. You can also find us on all your podcasting needs at Real Talk That Talk. I would say that I will put the link up so y'all can come in and with us, but I've been doing it a whole joint, so it's all good. All right, here's the last one. Are flags and twirlers becoming a lost art? Are flags and twirlers becoming a lost art? Anybody can jump in because I don't want Maya to throw it at Portia and then Portia be like, I take it. And then, so anybody can jump in on that one, whoever feels that they are ready to go.
I'll jump in, I guess. I'm gonna say this. I think yeah and no. We're gonna stick with the Norfolk, right? Norfolk finds ways to keep it interesting. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It's too many times they put their flag team up there that you don't watch, right? You know what I'm saying? They gonna catch your eye. I do think that it's also becoming a lost art, if so, because they don't put as much emphasis on it as they put on dance. Like I host dance competitions. You know what I'm saying? How often do we have camps and things for auxiliary and geared towards them and making it cool? You know what I'm saying? So that's my standpoint on it. I guess y'all are coaching, y'all probably did auxiliary before, but that's my reason. I think if it is becoming a lost art, it's because we don't put a lot of focus on it as much as we do like band and dance. So that's my standpoint.
As we're talking about this, I want you guys to think about something. Just think about all of the schools that have flag lines and twirler lines. Just think about that. All right. Since Justin hit it, Maya, go ahead. Oh, well, Portia, you gonna come in?
No, I kind of want to take this one last.
Okay, you got it last. Maya, go ahead.
Is it becoming a lost art? Ooh, child, y'all really trying to hit it tonight. As much as I don't want it to, I think so, because like Justin was saying, but just in general, this is sad. This is very sad. The focus is becoming swayed. And when we think about, even people used to aspire to be in a collegiate band. That used to be the trajectory of the art if we're just talking about band in itself. The way in which the color guards, the auxiliaries, for the most part, for the ones who are unable, unwilling, or for whatever reason have transitioned their style, the same thing we've been talking about all show, the numbers are beginning to dwindle down because of the focus, or because it's like, okay, well, basically I can do the same thing. Like being in a color guard used to be there for a reason. You know what I'm saying? If I'm spending a third of my time twirling and I'm spending 2/3 of my time dancing or doing whatever the case, I don't even know. I'm getting frustrated because this is sad for me, because I grew up auxiliary. I grew up on a line where I danced, twirled batons, twirled flags, twirled sabers, and whatever the hell else we did all in one show. Like, this is something that's always been, dear to me. But we're not seeing it. It's not the stage is not prominent for it in these days, or from what I'm seeing. And especially, again, I can only go up to what I consider the quote unquote hierarchy or the top, which unfortunately seems to be the collegiate realm in terms of color guard or auxiliary, in terms of a large foundation or a large stage. And even that is dwindling down and it's changing. So yeah, it is becoming a lost art, because we don't care. And the people that do care are not putting their money where their mouth is, are not putting their money or their talent where their mouth is, and going back and reiterating this art form where it can be placed. These persons who are skilled in these talents are not becoming the coordinators or the directors or the workshop planners or the workshop whomever that is inputting this art back into the school so that it can relish and that it can grow again. That's where the issue lies for me.
You better get angry. I can hear that frustration in your voice.
Because I'm like, bro, it angers me because people try and like one off it, like, oh, you know, like, and again, we did partially have this conversation again, and like, yeah, if you don't make a line, then that may be a go-to for some people, but for others, you try doing half back scratches and full back scratches and doing push pins and see how much effort and work that shit takes. Please, I guarantee you, the majority, Tina from off the street can't do that, girl. Okay, that is a skill. And it is a talent, and it takes strength. It takes it takes focus. It takes all these different things, and people try to push it aside like it ain't shit. I have an issue with that. Thank you. Good night.
So, first of all, before you go, sweetie, Chuck, are you on the toilet?
Nah, bro, I'm on the stairs, bro.
Oh, okay. usually when you see that light at the top, you know you in the think tank, man. So
nah, bro.
all right,
you got the vent over your head, so yeah.
right. That's what I thought. That's what I thought I saw at first, man. All right, Portia, what we gonna say?
I completely agree. Yes, it's becoming a lost art. Part of it is the work that it takes. It's a lot that goes into twirling from the time the band steps off to the time that we kick down. You know, it ain't no hit it and quit it. You have to start at the top of that thing and finish at the end. So and for us, we gonna march 90s the whole time doing it. So you know, we have had people these last couple of years come to band camp and say, oh no, this ain't for me, because of the work that goes into it. But what I will say, it is a lost art, and that's sad, because if you look at bands that only have dancers, it's not, the shows are great, but would they have been better had they had some color, something to accent that drill, something to accent that part of the show, you know? So those are the things that I think we're getting away from. And yes, the bands sound great, and some people will say stuff to me like it's not missing. You only feel that way because you are you twirl flag. That's what you do. You're a coordinator. No, I feel like color adds to shows. I'm not, you know, anti-dancer or anything else. But I do think that it adds to a drill. It brings a different element to a show. And so as lines die out, or unless you do those lines that have the combinations, they do everything. Unless you do it well and do it seamlessly, it becomes a distraction, but I won't go there. But you know, a lot of times, you know, in those situations, the stuff that they should have hit, in my opinion, or should have accented, they didn't, because they was transitioning into doing something else. But yeah, it's becoming a lost art. I think it's sad for the band world. And as the lines become more blurred, I think we're gonna miss the showmanship, or a portion of the showmanship that comes with HBCU marching bands traditionally. So that.
Justin, you got something?
I have a question.
Okay.
It's Portia. So as has been stated, these blur lines. So if you don't mind answering, I know earlier you said you used to like looking forward to seeing some teams. You know what I'm saying? By y'all being different at Norfolk, based on what you've seen those other teams used to do, what are some things that the other teams used to do that you found entertaining?
You want me to start calling out lines?
He wanna be messy, child.
No. Listen, I would have simply said name a team. I said name some of the things that teams used to do, because blurred lines. I mean, I guess I was saying everybody started kind of look the same, right? So I want to know some of the things that the teams used to do that caught your eye. It's not the team. I mean, if you want to name the team, you can go ahead. But I want to name
I don't want to do that. I don't want to go down that route.
I didn't want you to do that, Maya.
I'm gonna say like, there used to be this one school. I'm not gonna say their name, but I used to think that the things they did, to complement the drill were amazing. They would do a lot of, big movements. It coordinated with the music. It aligned. Now it's kind of like they're in the back just doing front twirls and switching directions and not really. You all talked about this on a previous show. Every aspect of the show should add something to the show, and understanding the music, where the band is in the music, how you as a color guard can enhance what we're trying to convey there. As a program, all of those things matter. And so now this is part of my job, or they not really focused on us, so I'm a half do it.
Gotcha.
And it's not giving what it was supposed to give.
I mean, so you read the blur lines. How do I say blur lines? I just feel like basically it's either from a stand, which I appreciate fans. I record fans. I mean flags, y'all. So I don't care. But I guess it's kind of one of those things. Like if they're not gonna do it right, don't kind of do it at all, because you're gonna have that versus all flags looking the same. You know what I'm saying? Because one, we all agree that the art of flag is not appreciated. I'm talking about twirling and whatnot. I was trying to add to what Maya was going. So like, should we accept blur lines? If you're not gonna do it right, don't do it at all. Because if it get a lost art, it's like I kind of would appreciate flags still want to be flags, but ain't nobody teaching this flag stuff. So could we kind of like get some resources for like how can we make flag popping again? I guess if that's the next question.
I'll give you one of my things. That part of it is programs, and I'm a different person than I was when I was in the program. I try to be politically correct and I don't say things.
Yeah, I would agree to that before you even keep going. I am so proud of you today because I know undergrad you, and this is the first time, this is the longest I've had a conversation with you since undergrad. You were just so different. I'm so proud. Look at that. Look at that.
God is
undergrad.
God is good. What I'm gonna say is we have to stop doing these programs. Have to stop a disservice to these sections. Some of what I'm seeing as a coordinator, there are different forums where people put other coordinators in touch on another and announce people are. It's some school that got like a drum major coordinator / flag coordinator. How they're gonna be? And for these combination lines, to me, it needs to be somebody who's either fluent in everything or to teach each piece of this. Because I think some of the problem is you think that if you can dance or you're a part of auxiliary, you can teach everything. And that is not the truth. So I think that's part of it, is that the programs are doing service to the students because there's not always a set coordinator or set person who's going to grow and foster those. Because the goal, even at the collegiate level, is that they leave better than when they came. And if there's not someone to foster that growth, that creativity, and to ensure that there's a different person leaving this section, then that's part of the problem.
All right. Oh, my bad, Justin. You were still going. My bad.
Yeah, my bad. I just kind of see things for what they were, and I'm like, if the line been, I ain't gonna say slow. If the line has been good for like so many years, and even if you put somebody who was on one of those years that probably wasn't good as the new coordinator, then like, what are we going from there? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I just would like to see. I can't even say I would like to see flags keep popping again, because from it sound like the last time flags were popping for real. Because if the art is losing, if you're not paying attention to it, I don't know. I appreciate teams that go hard. I see a lot of y'all out there, so I'm gonna keep filming y'all, putting y'all on the map. But I guess make flag great again. I guess that's what we would say.
Hashtag.
I got one thing to add, but I don't want to take away from the other two who need to speak as well. So you tell me how you want to do that.
Well, I was gonna say, go ahead, speak your piece.
Oh, I think Justin, based off of what you're saying, how to quote unquote make flags great again. Oh shit. I think a big portion of it, we have to have a team or an environment, a color guard. We have to have a team who is willing. When we talk about unshakable faith, you have to have a team who is willing to have that unshakable stand tall, know who they are, unwilling to waver, unwilling to do whatever, even if the views dwindle down, even when everybody's not praising the name of the section or what have you, and being willing to say, this is who we are, this is what we present, this is what we believe in, these are our values, and being willing to set that forth until the next wave, because there will be a next wave of fans, stands, band heads, whoever who can identify the respect for that and be able to attach themselves to that, and then bring that style back to the forefront. That's really what it's going to take as well. Somebody who is willing to say, this is who I am, like it or love it, this is what we're going to continue to do. Well, more teams who are willing to do that. That's all. Thank you.
All right. I'm not going to call him that. Rick. Are flags and twirlers becoming a lost art?
First of all, Portia, what's up, sister?
What's going on? How are you?
What's going on? Excuse my hotel room, y'all. I'm in Buffalo. We here for the tournament. UConn, let's go. We about to represent. But we clearly are just talking about black band because color guard ain't going nowhere. It has not died, and to me, this is the most flourishing aspect of color guard, or time of color guard that has ever been. So we are clearly just talking about us. There is a whole organization dedicated to color guard called WGI that is going on right now that pulls in more money than any HBCU program that exists. So we are clearly talking about some uninspired, unmotivated band programs with people that look like us. Color guard has expanded across this whole world. There are groups in Japan, there are groups in Ireland, there are groups in England that come over here to compete, Canada, to compete doing color guard. The problem is what I keep saying on this show over and over, and it still ain't caught on, and that's crappy band directors. Y'all don't want to say it, Portia, I'll say it. You have crappy, uninspired people running these programs that throw the flags in the back of the field. All right, y'all figure it out. I'll just give one example of what a person that actually thought about color. Dr. Sanford will put the Silkettes right on the 50 and feature them when we did the big hits of the show. We did that intro, Turn on the Action. Where was the Silks? Right on the 50. Because Dr. Sanford had a core style background. He taught at 2 core style schools. Now, it's funny because when Doc tried to change the Silks, that was a different story. But he knew how to use the Silks with what they did well. Every single Battle of the Bands we had a flag. Every single one. All right, what ballad daddy we hit tonight? I wrote the ballad in 09 with that If You Leave, and they spun it out. So when you have a band director that has no vision when it comes to how to use the color guard, here's the thing I think is missing from the conversation right now. Color guards are musical. That is how you use color guard. So Portia talked about accentuating what's happening musically with flashes of color, with changing flags. You don't have to use the same flag the whole show. But the problem with color guard at the HBCU level, Portia can't say it because she got a line to coordinate. I'm going to say it. The problem with HBCU color guards is that they refuse to grow. They refuse to adapt. And it's just like everything else we do in HBCU bands. And I know I'm not speaking for you, Portia, because I know that's probably not where you were going with it. But in my opinion, that's the problem. We only want to do what we do. The marching arts is evolving all around us, but we keep our core nucleus the same. Nothing changes. I have to do the same thing that my grandma did when she was in the flag line in 1972. I got to do that same exact thing because of tradition. I'm glad some of these marching art groups don't focus on this whole tradition thing anymore. Because if that was the same, we'd be still high stepping in straight lines, stepping off from the end zone. Everybody doing this. Oh wait, people still do that. Oh, like this is the problem with our programs, man. We only do the same thing that our alumni or whoever tells us we can do. You're put in a box and it won't grow. Portia, you weren't in the band. I remember when Doc, well, when this happened, but I remember when Doc tried to change it. Them ladies was like, "Hell no, we'll take every cent we put." And everybody at Norfolk knows the Silkat and Hot Ice are the biggest donators to Norfolk State's band. Everybody knows it. It is not a secret. You do not cross them ladies because your stuff will be over there. Your raggedy stuff is over there. That will be you if you do that. So it's a lack of vision. It's a lack of focus. And then the last part of it is on top of growth is that we have to know what we don't know and then go to where those things are good and pull what we come from. Quan talks about on the show how all the time about how those drum features started at Prairie View. Prof. Edwards went to a drum corps show. He probably saw Santa Clara Vanguard or somebody out there doing a drum feature. He pulled the things he liked, brought it back. Gary at A&T. Everybody keeps talking about A&T in the comments. What Dr. Ruff and Gary and those guys are doing at A&T, you know, that to me is leading the way when it comes to trying to innovate in this activity. There's a lot of things we can do different, y'all, but people have to be willing to do those things. You know, you could, at the end of the day, you know, we can talk about it until we're blue in the face. People have to make a commitment to doing that. And then the last thing I have to say is it has to be good. It has to be good because I see so many crappy flag lines out there dropping the flag. I know it's hard. I get it. You know, I marched Room 4 for 5 years. I get it. All right. I know it's hard. But if the same way I have to pick my trumpet up and be able to execute, you have to have that same attention to detail as a color guard member to say, what I'm doing matters. But the band director has to be putting in those ladies and gentlemen in a position to say, what you do matters. Not, hey, go in the back of the field and come up with something. So all of that was in a roundabout way. I'm saying what I always say. Time to step these band directors up. You want to see growth in these sections, get a visionary in front of them that actually knows what he's talking about and knows how to use the color guard. Get some interplay between the color guard and the dance line. The dancers don't have to come out just for that one song where everybody stands still. Do some drill and have the dancers involved with what's going on visually. Have the color guard interacting with, or what A&T do, combine the two and make it cool. You know, man, like get some damn vision. We don't have to do the same stuff. That's it. Hi, y'all. The dog is here. I.
You said some great stuff and ended it on the worst possible thing you could have maybe even said. Ugh. Portia, were you about to say something? Okay. Chuck.
What up? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right, cool. What up, everybody?
Go ahead. You got it. Our flags and twirlers becoming a lost art.
Well, I think Rick said exactly what I was thinking. And when Portia was talking, it made me think of, like, we always talk as music educators, exposing our kids to a variety of like music and different styles and concepts. It's cheating our, you know, groups, our squads, when we don't expose them to flags, different type of flags, swing flags, and you know, and different colors, and just them having an opportunity to learn what that art is, and then how that is incorporated, like, you know, in the band world. Like Rick said, I'm coming from Vegas before I came to Georgia, and WGI runs it over there. Like, it's a major thing. I didn't realize how big it was. I heard of it, but to be like in that circuit, and of course, because of COVID and everything, it was, shut down at one point. But I was like, man, like this thing is intense, it's like March Madness, when it comes to color guard, and it's insane. And as an educator, as a band director, even as like people that are over young children and young minds, it's our job to like see what's out there, see what's out there and how can we like build and grow our kids. You guys know I love food and I make a lot of comparisons to food. I think of it like I think of band like a buffet, but just imagine if that favorite item on the buffet wasn't there no more, or you never had it before. You know what I'm saying? You go to a restaurant and you have something that you've never had before. I'm so glad to see people talking in the comments, mentioning about A&T, because that was going to be my question. I wanted to ask like Portia and Maya, and I apologize if you already answered this question, or even any one of you guys, like, I was in the transition between Dr. Hodge and Dr. Ruff at A&T. And we've always, our color guard, our auxiliary had always twirled, always danced. It was an expectation coming in. Miss T. Brown that's over that, and of course her staff, they didn't, tolerate girls that just wanted to come dance and girls that just wanted to twirl. You had to do it all. And I remember being a high school student and seeing them. They were the only squad at that time that I saw that were twirling batons with fire. And I was like, oh my goodness, every time that they would just light them up before they even step onto the field, it was a reaction from the crowd. Like, oh, we've never seen this before, and so, those groups, because I know now Dr. Ruff, his whole plan, I remember when he talked about it, he was like, why do our shows have to be the same? Why do we have to follow this so-called tradition? Why can't our shows be like a production? Why can't black bands have props and stuff like that? Why are we not thinking outside the box? And so what we see now with Golden Light, that's his vision that he's had for a long time. And as a director, he was able to support it and implement it now. So I wanted to ask, like, when you see groups like that the squad twirls, flags, and throws hoops and does all this stuff, like, what is your thought behind it? Because I know, again, it's like different strokes for different folks. So I just want to ask Portia and Maya, like, what are your thoughts, like, when you see a group like Golden Delight or other groups that do multiple things on the field? Like, what are your like impressions or thoughts?
I'll go. I mean,
Yeah, because Portia says she don't want to talk about specific groups tonight.
Okay, I get it.
You got to be
well, to me, it feels at home because that's where I came from. I went to Townview, shout out to Mr. Hill, shout out to Miss Washington, shout out to Miss Evelyn Forte Jones. That's how I grew up. So in the high school realm, that's what I used to put my backpack on with, because I was out there doing the thing, and I wish there were more teams around that took on that same fashion. And the biggest respect to NCAT and Golden Light, because they're doing exactly what we say that more teams should be doing. They're continuing to move the goalposts forward, continuing to keep that tradition, but still making it relevant and still pushing the narrative of how to make it bigger and better, how to make it grander, how to push to the next level, which is what is keeping them relevant. And I mean, from my knowledge, the only collegiate team that has a full force auxiliary where one group is doing quote unquote everything. So again, I wish that there are more teams that would do it. Now, how we're gonna get there, I'm not sure. But that goes into play with everything that everybody has offered up in terms of our perspectives and opinions. Is that kind of what we talk about perspective in terms of that?
Yeah, for sure. Because I know as a high school director, and I'm sure, other directors on here has experienced it, it's not easy to either do just one, but to do both. I remember going into my first gig, you had the flag squad and you had the dance squad. And it was, I'm gonna keep it another, we talking that talk. It was the big girls on flag and it was the small girls on dance. That's exactly what it was. And I never forget, I'm not gonna say the student name, but I never forget this student that, she was, she wasn't like the skinny girls, but she could dance her tail off. And I never forget when I said I was combining the squads. I'm not having this separate, because I just saw what it was doing to them in terms of their spirit and their morale. And I never forget. I think it's one competition that we did very well, and I could still picture her dancing and smiling, and it was like the best thing ever. And the whole crowd was like rooting her on, kind of like when we see the honeybees. Like I don't care what those girls go down. I was just at the little Battle of the Bands at Duluth that they had a few years ago, the Culture Battle of the Bands, and they took the show. Every time I've seen them, they take the show. And so again, I know how hard that is to do, but it prepares them, to go to the collegiate level. And I think as directors and the people that work with kids, we got to, because again, you might have a girl that can really twirl very, very well, and that doesn't dance that well, and they want to be on the dance line, but they just don't have the skills, to do it because they didn't do it when they were in high school. And so, or vice versa. You have a lot of dancers that go to a school that may have flags and they don't know what to do, and they don't have a spot because they didn't make that dance line, or vice versa. And so I just think that, just with the question, it is becoming a lost art because, like Rick said, we don't have enough people in place that know the craft. And it's the same thing with our bands. We don't have enough people that are willing to dig in and learn and be exposed and be adjudicated and get those comments and try to work to be better and also like coordinate with each other. And I know y'all were talking about beef, and it's crazy at some of these high school competitions, man. I always say it. I was like, all right, don't start, flicking your hair back harder just because you see another squad or walking a little harder. It's crazy, but I'm excited because this Saturday we're actually having the dance line from A&T and the drum line coming to do a clinic at my school for all of like Atlanta and stuff like that. And I'm just really excited to host my alma mater, but for my squad to get that teaching, and to learn those skills necessary to be where they are. So yeah, I was just gonna say that.
I have a question. And this for anybody, especially you, Rick. So being that, seeing how important the flag is, what I'm saying, coming from Miss Portia, who gave us a in depth, like what the standard is, and as a coach, a current coach, what I'm saying. Rick, bands who don't have flags, like since they missing that element, is they show limited? How you feel about bands? Because I know a lot of bands that don't have flags, so like, is this show missing that element of adding to the feature?
You sure you want me to answer that question?
I actually, yeah.
I would.
Portia answer, but she can't answer. But
No,
yeah,
but think about it, bro. Think about it. You already know. You already know. Yeah, you already know my answer gonna be yes, right?
Ask me then.
But I think all shows, all HBCUs, the band shows, miss many elements. We do the same format every single time we get on the field. Maybe an intro into a drill song, do the dancer song, or do some type of flag feature. Go into the dance routine, march off the field. All band show, these HBCU band shows need some type of revision. That's the reason why I love Norfolk State's show from Honda so much. It's the first
35, 45, 35, 45.
bruh. It's the first show where I feel like all elements came into play. The Silks was spinning their ass off. The Hot Eyes did their thing, what they do. The band had a singer. They had all these things, but most importantly, all the clarity and things that come with being a great band were there. Like there was actually attention paid to showmanship, but also to performance, not just showmanship. So to me, yes, all these groups are missing an opportunity. Imagine if Southern got out there on the field.
I'm not even about to think it. Don't worry about it. Don't
Right.
now. Yeah.
But imagine if they got out there on the field, man, and they played that. Like my favorite ballad that Southern's played, probably ever, is These Three Words. That These Three Words was dope. Imagine if they got out there and you saw flash, 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 spin together. Flash, 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 balls, catch.
You don't know what our culture say? Country. Get out of here.
And that's the problem because
Yeah.
everybody think they right and everybody think they perfect. So we're never good.
But here's my problem with that, Justin. Though. Let me hold up, Justin, before you go. Here's my problem with that, right? You say that, but when I look at the many videos that I see from New Orleans, from all of the Mardi Gras parades, there are twirlers and there are flags.
Let me say what
Why does that not transfer to the university programs? Why is that an issue?
Let me tell you. Okay, so boom. I'm glad you go. That was gonna be my next point, but whatever. So I said the community gonna say country, but I mean I gotta appreciate flags, but I have it in my band. I wasn't raised on it, so when I see it done right, I'm like, oh dang, I learned something, or I see something different. So you get that, Rick? I wasn't raised with. Well, I gonna say with because we have flags in the waters. We tore 2 shot flags, and I put them against any flag teams in the world. And made record, they tore 2 batons. One of my videos just went viral. And the girls twirling fire under the bridge. So I don't agree with pretty the wireless. It's different. But if I'm gonna just say if a band never had it like Southern, they do some of the best field shows in the world. They don't need it. So if I wanted your opinion on it, yes, I gonna drill a bunch of bands. That's not a story another day. But if they get by without flags, I mean, like I'm not gonna say it's not needed, bro. But they've been doing it for so long. That's a whole other story. You already know. You already talk about this.
Yeah. So how many times can you see
your comments are making me not want to? I want to change this hat and face and say some stuff. Okay.
That's Justin. We
all talk that talk. Talk that talk. Talk that talk.
Listen to me. I'm on here trying to be neutral and just address these questions without going in, but you're doing a lot.
Hey, Rick, all I'm over here doing is, Alex, somebody gonna catch it. I'm just saying though, because you can't knock these bands. I'm over here. Once she said that triggered in the back of my head, like she like, damn, like I mean, what she said, but it was about. I basically took it as like. Yeah, so I guess every band don't have flags missing the element. I asked Rick, I know Rick gonna say, you know what I'm saying? So bands have been getting by without it. And one thing I noticed, I won't say the band name, this band hasn't been using flags for as long as I can remember, and I see them recently brought them back. So I don't know. I'm just stirring the pot here.
I mean, but Justin, but your question, although I think or your synopsis, although misguided, because Southern ain't out drilling no Norfolk State and they sleep. You didn't hit that good stuff tonight. That's what you just said. You just said they got the best drills out of anybody.
If we run the tape back, said they have some of the best field shows in the world.
And you called me in Rick's face immediately.
You got it, Justin. You are entitled to your opinion.
Listen. That's what I said. I never said a specific. I mean, Norfolk can have some of the best shows in the world as well.
But you didn't say some of. You said the best. But anyway,
no, I said some of. I said some of.
But just your synopsis brings up a bigger question, right? Because think about it from this standpoint. There hasn't been any innovation in HBCU bands probably about 40 years, right? So imagine one of these drum lines like Jackson. I'll use Jackson because a lot of people say Jackson's drum line is legit. All right. I tend to lean in the Teddy camp where if you up there playing Patty, never mind. People say Jackson.
Pots and pans.
Teddy, hey, we can get to that later. But imagine if Jackson's drum line bought a pit out there and actually put some melody with it. And actually amplify the pitch so you can hear it, and actually put that together with the big sound that they already play with. How would that change the activity? Or if Southern did, let's use Southern because that's the Kings, right? That's everybody's favorite band. Imagine if they came out and did something different. And this is what I said when I was talking about musicality. If you took the best bands, Jackson, Southern, Norfolk State, FAMU, right, and they all did it, people would follow suit. Everybody would follow suit. But because the Kings and everybody else ain't doing it, we're going to stay in the same place. Imagine if all those different. What you said?
I said, you think they would? I'm asking Justin, you think they would?
It goes back to what we always talk about. We talk about how, like, bands are scared to innovate. So if Southern did do something like that, one, I bet you they'll get more feedback for what is this new country shit that they're doing versus as, oh, let's all do it. It may have to be done a couple of times. You know what I'm saying? So I just pretty much stir in the pocket. I know Rick, we talk about the same times. Like, it's hard for bands to change. And I'm just thinking, like, I would like to see stuff that never happened before. So if someone ever added book one of these DCI flags to come and incorporate that with a show, I think it'll take that for it to be accepted before they have their own flag team in the round. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, but I just grew up with not having. I ain't wrong with that because my high school's half flag. It's just very different. You know what I'm saying? It's two small ones versus.
But I disagree though, Justin. I disagree vehemently. Why? Because nobody's ever tried. Like we keep saying alumni this, alumni that. I don't agree with that.
We try to get a flag team.
Norfolk State tried another auxiliary. All the alumni was in their feelings until they saw it. And I'm like, damn, Accent is actually pretty legit. For a while, never mind. But Accent was pretty legit.
I know what you gonna say, bro. Hey,
I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it.
Hey, for a while, Accent was better than Hot Ice.
What's Accent?
Accent was better than Hot Ice. So it's not a secret. You can see it out there in the open. Now, I love my alma mater. I love the Legion, but we also gonna be honest. Let's be real.
For about 4 or 5 years, we had this section at Norfolk State called Accent, which was like it was an accent. That's what their job was. So instead of using flags to not step on the silk's feet, and instead of doing just dance, they had these rings with the hoops with the flare on them. And they were legit. And it was an opportunity to break the gender barrier, right? They had male members in Accent as well as females. Norfolk State has always been ahead of the curve with that. We've always had men on flag and women on flag. You know what I'm saying? So and they were really, really good. So it added a whole nother element to the band. I got the Silks back there spinning their ass off. Like the Silks, can't nobody take it from them. Portia, I'm gonna give you your flowers while you're here. The Silks are probably, in my opinion, the cleanest flag line in HBCU band, and always have been. I don't always like the rigidness of it, but that's their style, and they do it at a very high level. But Accent, to me, it just gave you that much more to look at on the field. And so it can be done, man. You just need to have a band director that's not scared to stand up and say, I want to try something different. And I think what happens is a lot of these band directors be scared. They like coming to work and knowing that the check daddy gonna show up at the right time. I ain't got to answer no emails. I ain't got to go out here and defend the position I made. No, they like that comfort. I want to be a band director to say, okay, that ain't working. What we gonna do? You know what I'm saying? Y'all ain't gonna fire me because I'm doing my job at a high level. It ain't but a lot of people maybe can't say that. I'll just leave it there. Julian, you wrong for that. You know you
Accent. I'm going to Norfolk again for free Accent.
You say what?
They're gonna cuss you out at homecoming.
Hey, no, they can cuss me out at homecoming. Here's the reality. The reality is everybody could see it. It's not like it's an unkept secret. Like I didn't tell
this clip, Justin.
I didn't say anything behind closed doors that like everybody could see it.
Man, whatever. I need this clipped, and I need this to be the little segment daddy by itself. Like you always put my clips up there. Everybody in the country. This dude a hater, dog. This dude a hater. Every time.
No, I'm gonna stand on what I said. Listen, no, I'm gonna stand on it. Listen, as a member of the Spartan Legion, as a Norfolk State grad, I love my band and I love everything about Norfolk State. However, I am also entitled to be able to say if something is either not good or better or blah 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 blah, because that would also put me in that category of saying, hey, I am completely oblivious to things that are wrong or things that I think can be better. I'm not one of those kind of people. Ricky, you know that. Now, did I say that Hot Ice was trash? Absolutely not. That's not what I said. What I said was, at a time, Accent was better than Hot Ice. That does not mean that Hot Ice was terrible. It's not what I feel.
Justin, this man ain't gonna be able to step foot on campus.
Listen, I ain't set foot on campus in 2011, so trust me, my life will go on.
Hey, I want to push. And Luke, Rick, I want y'all to take out Kentucky State flag line. Like you say, they're the best. Like I'll put money on them. Like because they just good and they like retarded. They're nice. Retarded mean good where I'm from. But yeah, so go just give them a look and let me know what y'all think about them. You know what I'm saying? But I think they like the hottest out right now, like because they're just so versatile at what they do. But you go ahead. Chuck.
Hey, what? Yeah, I got a question. I don't know if y'all talked about it earlier, but I wanted to get Portia and Maya's question on this. That's just about like, did y'all talk about maybe like I know y'all mentioned something earlier about uniforms, but what do y'all think about like some of these high school lines like uniforms?
We kind of hit on that.
Y'all did? Okay. My apologies. I'll go back and listen to it.
Yeah.
I'll go back and listen to it. Okay, cool.
One more thing that I wanted to say about this overall. I don't see anything wrong with lines that do everything. That's how I'll phrase that. But what I will say is I have, and there have been through the years, some amazing silkettes who could not dance to save their entire life. So one thing I want to say
you can say that and you'll be welcome back at homecoming. I just want to make sure that you can say that and you'll be welcome back at homecoming.
Yeah, the Silks don't dance. The Silks don't dance.
They don't hit the
floor. They ain't hitting this daddy right here.
They hit some of these little joints too, and really be awesome. But it's okay.
Have a ball some. They do more than what we do. We talked about that earlier. There's been some evolution. They do a little bit more.
The Silks dance now?
Not.
They do more than what we.
They don't look like high, but
back
they
in the
give
day,
it.
they give you this right here.
That was That's all you hear in the background.
That's all you had.
They giving more than what we gave. I'm gonna tell you that they giving more than what we gave. But what I'll say is that they could have not gotten out there and done a dance feature. So we might be shooting ourselves in the foot in some instances because some of the best Silks could not have gotten out there and done a dance.
Let me ask you though. I think it's a pride thing too, right? Like the Silks took pride in the fact that they weren't high. They had their own identity. They did their own thing. I get so tired. I'm gonna say it, y'all. This talk that talk.
Hold up, whoa. If you said you won't be welcome back to homecoming.
No, I get so tired of seeing these doggone flag lines that be up there dancing more. Pick up the goddamn flag. You are not a dancer.
We talked about that earlier.
We talked about that. You don't know who's who. It's just a lot going on in the stands. You don't know who.
Chaos.
Oh, you know who's who. Come on, Portia. You know who's who. You know who's who. Maya, don't say. You know who's who.
I'm gonna say that's a flag, man. Because the flags, I didn't feel like that we put a limit on them. Like if they could do a little 8 count with the little, like the flag teams that they use a flag, and sometimes in the stands they put the flag down and get the hoop. Let them do their little thing. What's wrong with that, Rick?
No, I'm talking about when they put it down and start hitting the 8 counts, and you just
they do full stands, daddies.
Let's talk about the one. Never mind. Sorry about it.
Pick me.
Maya, go ahead.
Because now we're going into different territory, right? Mm-hmm. We were talking about bluer lines or whatever. Now we're going into, or seemingly for me, it seems like we're going into gimmick territory. Because gimmick territory. Because you was like, we know the difference. We may know the difference, but why do we know the difference? Chuck, he said what? He said honeybees. Are we not gonna sit here and say that that's not a quote unquote gimmick?
I said that before.
If we're gonna talk it, then let's talk.
But Ma, you've heard me say
if they really cared about them dancing, they would be on the actual.
Then it would not matter. There would not need to be a captured.
Right. But Maya, you heard me say that on the show all the time.
Right.
It's a way of getting crowd, yes. But most importantly, you are making fun of people. Like, what type of band do we have to? Like, what?
I think it's deeper than that,
as a people. Where have we come as a people where denigrating people and making them feel and less than for some damn claps is okay. Like,
Now,
I'm
Brandon,
sorry.
don't do that. You
Please tell me when I
know
told
us.
somebody to go out there and do that. Please,
No,
please.
You know
it's
that's what
I
we
think it's
find
bigger.
love. You
Hey.
know we like to do that. Now, don't
I
do
think
that.
that's Rick saying that.
Maya,
Why
you
you
ain't
put the
never
fat
heard me
boys?
say nothing like that, or
No,
even suggest
sure.
it.
I'm talking about the masses. I'm talking about in general. That's what the girls go up for. That's what. Why you think?
Why they put the fat boys in the front for the dance routine and make them do a split? You know
But
what
I
I'm saying?
said that too, Justin.
You have.
Remember, I brought
definitely
up
have said
Justin.
that.
Me and Julian judged at
You said they
a
rode that
local
boy
high
like
school.
a bicycle or a
Right.
pony or whatever.
This boy they bought this certain high school bought out the biggest member there, and this boy was big. That boy had a back on him. But anyway,
No, man.
they
No,
bought him
man.
out. They played Pony by Genuine, and the drum major rode him like a pony. He got on the boy back and rode him like a pony. And I was sitting there like, nope, nope, absolutely not. Nope.
You gave him a direction?
Absolutely. This is not, and my comment was, this is not general effect. Because that's not general effect. Making fun of that dude because he's a larger dude, it's ridiculous. But only us.
Wait,
Only our people.
I want to comment on these last two that came in. These last two comments. Again, when we're having conversations on here, there are so many aspects of beliefs and points that we're making. I also do think, yes, in terms of honeybees or whomever, that is definitely a own community, or it's building light and a foundation for a particular perspective in a particular realm, and bringing a different form of the light to bring a different form of the art to the light. Yes, I do understand that. I agree with that. But I'm talking about in terms of the general, what made them so prominent? Because they was larger girls doing splits, doing dancing, because you don't technically, quote unquote, expect that, whatever. Just like if you see a girl going hard on the horn or whatever, she's gonna be looked at. Or if you see a girl on the drum line, she's going to get more footage time or whatever, because you don't, quote unquote, expect that. So that's what I'm saying in terms of the quote unquote gimmick. Do I agree? Not necessarily, but we must be clear and we must be honest that is a portion that adds to it.
So my thing is, I think it can go deeper than that. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm one, free the flag, because the flags do what they want to. And then we talk about the honeybees or somebody who support the hell out of the honeybees. Like, technically, the honeybees wouldn't even have to be a thing if they was given a fair shot to make these dance teams. Like, that's the what we run into.
That too.
There wouldn't have to be a gimmick if they was able to make the real.
Exactly. There would be no need for it.
Exactly. And that's
it would just be the dancers or the
dancers, you know what I'm saying? And people don't want to accept that, you know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes the honeybees, but they always go get a big reaction. Whether it's people who laugh, who's cheering with them or cheering at them, like, you know what I'm saying, laughing with a laugh matter. My thing is, like, it wouldn't have to be a honeybee if they could simply make that. I know this one time, this girl sent me this long message in my DM on my Instagram about support her movement to let bigger girls join a team. When I seen this girl dance, I was like, dang, like, she just wild, man. She's a bigger girl, you know what I'm saying? So if they can get on these teams, but that's something that we ain't gonna talk about. So I guess we're gonna keep calling the honeybees a gimmick, you know what I'm saying, and what it is, but let's talk about the bigger picture at hand. They honor the honeybees because they can't make the statistic don't want the bigger girls in the stands. You know what I'm saying? So
right. I mean, I agree with you 100%, Justin. But there are some lines that are starting to evolve. Like, I remember Norfolk being a conversation a couple of years ago, because they had a young lady that didn't fit the Miss Howard, stereotypical size, back then. Like, when I was in the band, we were like, those women were small, man, like very, very small. And and you see it even more in the swag. There are a lot of full figure women in these dance lines, man, ladies with hips and stuff like that. Like, remember when what's that young lady? I think she eventually became the captain at Southern. Like, right after, like, a couple years ago.
You're talking about,
like, I don't remember, but there are teams, man, that are getting away from that. You got to look like you dancing for Alvin Ailey, right?
I appreciate those teams.
But there's also nothing wrong with maintaining an image. Like, we live in a country where everything has to be politically correct, right? But at the end of the day, image is important. These are the people that are on your flyers. These are the people that are selling your university. They ain't picking no dude that look like me and you to be on the flyer. You know what I'm saying? The only time they saw me on the band tape was when I was hitting the trumpet playing daddy. You know, they ain't want this sexiness on the cover. You know what I'm
Except when
saying?
you hit
So
that A flat.
right, right. So at the end of the day, there's nothing wrong with maintaining an image. But at the end, like you said, just it has to be an environment where it's not just making fun of them young ladies. You know what I'm saying? I think the honeybees are probably the most legit when it comes to having like one of those type groups. Like they don't look at them as being a parody of the dance line. You
I
know,
don't
they
look
have
at
their
that
own
either.
feature. Right. They come out and dance a whole chart. The dance line dances a chart. Like they are not always commingled with one another. So
Like what Kevin
we just
Samuel
need to
said, what
do
he said
better with
about
our
the
people.
honeybees. I would, man. I ain't never sent him so damn many messages in my life, but I didn't like how he just basically he blatantly said that thing is or the look and the honeybees are basically not what's supposed to be it. And he kind of pointed out that everybody's cheering for him because they like big girls and stuff like that. But that's just my thing. Like we want to talk about it until it's time to talk about it. Like you know what I'm saying? I stand on like they wouldn't be a thing if they could make the real dance team. I think if I'm not mistaken, I think the director who started them had that was one of the reasons why she started them or something like that. But I don't know. This is some good content, boy. Y'all gonna viral for this. One of these clips is gonna make it and it's gonna be 100,000,000 views. But yeah, I think it's gonna be the
Well,
one with these
So
dance
I
teams.
know I'm gonna get a lot of messages in my inbox. There's been a
Speaking
couple.
of Luke,
There's been a couple of times I done said some stuff on here, and I done got a whole bunch of messages. So it's all
Speaking of
right.
Luke, somebody, one of the male dancers, he said he wouldn't mind coming on the show. He caught one of your little clips, one of your little clickbaits, and he said he would come on the show explaining about like the male dance team perspective. He caught the summer band one. He said he don't mind coming on the show. I told him like send me information if you want me to come on. That'd be some good content to get some good dialogue to get a
If you
male dancer perspective.
if you talk to him again, just send him the Instagram, and then I'll get back to him because I've also the young man who danced for Accent is also my chapter brother. So I've actually had a conversation with him as well, and talked to him about the possibility of coming on the show too. So it would be good to actually get those two voices on the show and having that conversation. So that's fine. Just send them the Instagram.
Gotcha.
now, this not gonna make the highlight reel. Me being politically correct. Now, the definition for gimmick is a trick or device intended to attract attention, publicity, or business. So, in the case of the definition, everything that we have talked about matters. If we want to talk about the Negro definition and the ignorant definition of it being a bad thing, that's where all the going to come in about us talking about honeybees or whatever the case may be. And that is not the point that we were making. We want to talk about gimmicks. Southern do gimmicks. You know what I'm saying? Or people putting that boy on and making him the pony or whatever. That's a gimmick in a negative light. I'm talking about making it to where those blurred lines or making it a thing to where a particular person cannot be or exist where everybody else quote unquote exists. So like I said, that ain't gonna make the highlight reel because that's a little bit too neutral. That's not, up in arms enough. But just so we're all here, it's a talk that talk, but apparently shit get real sensitive around here. So
Rick, make sure you put that part before the, gimmick is, and then put the,
disclaimer. A gimmick is
yeah. So make
sure
he
ain't gonna put it. The only way he gonna put it is if I said it. So I can get cussed out by everybody in America. I don't care though. I don't care. My opinion is my opinion. I don't care.
Let me make sure I see, because now I got to make sure I clarify this. I don't purposefully cut your clips. You just say the most damaging stuff.
Justin, do you believe that mess? Justin, come on, bro. Hey, Ricky said something else. There you go.
Hey,
you
I
say it.
want to see that accent clip, though. I want to see that clip. I want to see that accent clip.
Y'all trying to get on me about what I said. I said, I guess the thing of the night, right? But you are known for saying the thing of the night. That's not my fault.
Hey, see, the problem with me is I keep it real. Come on, y'all, like we all be thinking these things I be saying. I just be the one that say it out loud. I won't go say that accent one out loud because this is my 20th year in Omega. I'm going to homecoming.
Well, yeah, you got to go.
Yeah, so it's tight. That's on you. But I usually say the stuff that we all say behind closed doors or be thinking and don't want to say out loud to be politically correct. Y'all know I ain't wrong. Like you go to these band shows and it's just we all sit in the stands watching these HBCU band shows and be like this.
Until they get in the stands.
That's when we care. We don't care about these shows no more. It was fun being at Norfolk and knowing that we were going to be doing something different. You know what I'm saying? Like you can say whatever you want about Norfolk State. Norfolk State ain't trying to be nobody but Norfolk. And it's a couple bands like that across the country. Southern is one of them. Tennessee State is one of them. FAMU and Bethune-Cookman is definitely one of them. Because if I hear Ice Cream Man one more goddamn time, Ice Cream shoot myself. Like Jesus Christ. Like how many times? And then they they try to hit the Baltimore club beat with it. Mr. Ice Cream. I'm like, what is this? Well, anyway, like I don't want to hear Ice Cream anymore.
I'm going to clip that. I'm going to clip it and put what's accent ever better than hot ice. I know my father will go crazy on that. I'm already knowing.
I might respond.
Look, he gonna respond with his little typing. He ain't gonna respond right here on the camera though. Yeah.
Hot ice, I got y'all back. Because I want to be at home.
I want to make it the whole. Look, if it wasn't his 20th year, he would have said exactly what I said. Look at him. You know that's why he laughing.
Yeah, funny man.
I think we need a part two because I think we at some point because is that me? Ooh.
Caking that night, Maya's caking that night.
Dr. Ignat, that's you. Because we barely scratched the surface because it's definitely this is good. We definitely we can go a little bit deeper. We can uncover a couple more things, but this is good. You know, everything happens for a reason. So thank you, Brownie. Thank you for not being in attendance.
He missed the intro and everything.
Oh, you got to see that intro. You got to see that intro.
I'm gonna go back and watch, but God,
that thing just took it to a whole nother level.
I'll play the intro before we leave out. How about that?
That's yeah.
See, we didn't hit the 2-hour mark too. I don't care.
You get your 10s from me, Luke.
Oh well, thank you. At least somebody's giving me a 10 because I guess my inbox is about to be terrible, and I won't be welcome back at homecoming. I won't get none of that fresh roasted pig. Oh well.
I'm gonna tell you that can't nobody stop you from coming to where you got your degree from.
Oh yeah, all right.
It is what it is. The comments is the comments, and
I'm gonna tell Portia. Next time we come to homecoming, hey, y'all remember that?
You gonna be phony. You supposed to be my best friend. You supposed to have my back. You did as soon as I walk up. There you go.
Right.
There you go.
Right. Hey, there you go right there. There you go.
I'm gonna go to your homecoming with a free accent shirt on. If they ask you what it means, I'm gonna go post the clip.
Hey,
I never knew what accent was until I learned how much better it was than the hot ice.
Can we put that in the merch store? Free accent.
Free accent. That's what we
put that in the merch store.
With the little hoop daddy in the middle, with the little fringe on it, all that. We need that.
Nope. Listen, this is why I love my alma mater. This is why I love the Legion, because as soon as I put something up like that, it's gonna go in one of the groups, and they're gonna be like, is the Legion getting money off this here shirt? Because if not, you need to take it down. They will do that.
Hey, that's tight. Free accent with the pound sign.
Well, we can say free accent. But I ain't
with the little hoop daddy. There
are things I will not step on my band's toes about, and that is definitely one of them, because that is a smoke I do not want. Because I remember somebody made a shirt with the Spartan Legion on it, and it was
that's different. That is different, because at Norfolk we look at band shirt, and I'm sure it's like this in every school. We look at band stuff like it's paraphernalia for a fraternity. You ain't marching the Legion. Let me get that off you, cuz.
Yeah. Y'all have fan shirts for the Spartan Legion?
Tight.
Barely.
Yeah, that's
barely.
they started trying to do that towards the end of when I was exiting, but before then, nah, it was tight.
Justin,
And let me
my
explain something to you.
my freshman year, this old man, his granddaughter gave him one of her Norfolk State shirt. They gladly took that shirt off that old man, gave him a white T-shirt that they had on, old mustache white T-shirt. They took it off and gave it to this old man and stripped him of his Norfolk State
Listen,
shirt.
Justin,
Bro,
I'm gonna
we
tell
don't
you.
be playing, bro.
Let me tell you how serious it is, bro. And I may be the only one like this. I may not be. My wife marched in the Legion. She don't wear any shirts from the years that I marched. She has to wear the shirts from the years that she marched and on.
That she marched.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's tight. She don't wear none of my shirts. 02,
We don't
03,
cross.
04, it's tight. Don't
Back
put
when his name was Twa.
yeah,
Okay.
don't even wear my Legion shorts. It's tight.
In 06,
I
it was
agree.
this guy. They made him take off some Legion shorts in the middle of the Union. He was like, I came to band camp, but I quit. So they was like, are you Legion? He was like, no. They was like, run us them shorts.
Yes, sir.
So,
Run them. Give me that hook. You ain't
Well,
because just you gotta look at it like this, bro. It's just like a fraternity or sorority, right? We were in that goddamn on music building from 3:20 until our practice didn't have an ending time, Justin. 3:20 until it's right. That was band practice.
Take your butt to the calf, go ahead and eat, and come on right back.
Right back. Let Dr. Sanford say we had the rest of the night off. Sectionals. Y'all bring y'all ass right back.
It was sectional till 2.
Now,
bruh.
I know we far ahead. How y'all feel about how y'all feel about them doing the Rose Bowl? That's gonna be dope this year. I'm going. I'm already.
Man.
Oh, I love it.
Look, I'm gonna put it to you like this, and
enjoy.
We
was gonna try to get out there, but it's tight. That's too much money.
I'm gonna give you your flower. I might make it. I'm gonna give you your flowers.
We're gonna have to go
Norfolk State is finally starting to get the notoriety that they deserve. They're gonna have to get somebody like you, or they're gonna have to pay Gary Edgerson some money.
Man, look, I'm down to go. I'm going anyway.
Right. They're gonna have to improve that media team because they need to be pumping them videos out 2, 3, 4 videos a week. But Norfolk, man, I'm so proud of my band, bro. I don't know what to do, man. Like Mr. Bethea, Miss Sanders, like that's how you know. I'm almost 40, and I still call them Mr. Bethea and Miss Sanders.
Miss Sanders. We don't hit them with the first name, Daddy. We're gonna call them Mr. Bethea, Miss Sanders.
They are doing one hell of a job with that band, and Miss Sanders and them. They really getting the one ensemble back up too, man. Norfolk State is about to be a destination, man. Like for anybody, forget HBCU style band, and that because they've always been in that train of thought. We just want good people. We don't give a damn what style they march. I had never marched a show in my life before I went to Norfolk State. Never. And was in the Legion. Went through the process to become a member of the Legion. Went through the process of being in my section, which was literally playing my horn and actually being good at what I do. Won't no getting my ass whipped to be in the Legion because I think that's stupid. I always tell the story, Justin. This is how I crossed into the Dizziac section. North Carolina A&T. We went down and played them. It's a clip up right now online of us playing Shaft. You seen that clip of Norfolk State playing Shaft where the lights went out and the fireworks? Right after that, we on our way back to the bus. This man Maurice, we hitting the arm swing, daddy. This man Maurice is turned around and said, "Hey, y'all Dizzies now." Hey, right back to it. Right to that dog. That's how I became a Dizzy. Now they got all these. Maya's scratching the surface. We're gonna let it go.
Yeah. You gotta make it.
We could do a whole segment just on that.
Traditions ain't traditions, y'all. They're not.
So let's do this. Because I know it's getting late. Portia, I know it's like 10 where you at. And then it's Rick, it's you in New York, so it's 10 where you at too. So I want to make sure I get you guys off and I got to eat. I ain't even ate nothing since 6. So I got to eat and it's late. So I do want to go ahead and bring this to a close to get you guys, to where you guys need to be. I know, Maya, you got some things you got to do. So let's do it this way. First of all, I do appreciate everybody for stopping through, man, and going through this whole process. This was an interesting process. It was just me and Maya, and we started, and Portia came in. Portia, hey, girl, you got to come back more. You got to come back, boy.
Please.
I got the notifications on now. I really, if I'm not able to watch while y'all are live, I do. I appreciate this. I like how honest y'all are. Yeah, Maya, y'all don't know me, but I can be real honest. I'm being PC tonight. But I appreciate the honesty, the real conversations, the upfront nature about it, because a lot of times people are one track minded because of the programs that they're in. They only see their program. They don't see the benefits of anybody else. So I love this forum. I love what y'all are doing. And, I'll hop on. I just got to know in time enough to put my wig on, because I can't come on here with the Sealy braids. So, yeah.
Okay. Well, definitely. I'm gonna be sending you some messages. How about that? So, just look for some messages to come your way. All right. So, hopefully, I can let you know in enough time, man.
There's something here now.
What'd you say?
I said we might got us something here now.
Oh Lord, here we go.
You had a full auxiliary perspective. Is that
right? We might got us something here now.
I'm
that's what I'm saying. We here, but you know what?
I'm gonna talk to you off camera.
But I'm saying everything happens for a reason, and you know what?
Because HR done had conversations with you plenty of times, but we'll talk about that. I'll send you
everything happens for a reason, and it's on timing.
Scarfinger, man, every time, yes, you do got to get in here before Justin. Justin always the first one. Scarfinger was trying to get in, man, and
I got the post notifications on, sir.
Trying to hit you.
That's real. That's real.
Matter of fact, well, no, because I know you want to. Well, if you're gonna keep it short, I'll let you come in real quick. Give me a thumbs up if you can keep it short. All right, we're gonna let Scarfinger, because he tried to come in one time and then the same thing happened. All right, so let's let Scarfinger come in real quick.
All right, real quick. My comments earlier leads right into your argument of over accent being over hot ice, because I said I'm glad hot ice got over that we can do splits and roll over the floor phase. They did that for quite some time, and that's all they pretty much did. There wasn't much dancing. It was just kind of like, we can do splits and we can roll around on the floor. And that was the point where accent became better than them. I mean, so I'm helping you out. This is from a fan's perspective. I didn't march, so I can't speak on nothing other than what I've seen. And what I've seen is for a good stretch, all Hot Ice did was do splits and roll around on the floor. And Rick, I've been meaning to come and talk to you about this damn PIMP. I've been meaning to talk to you for weeks about this PIMP. Somebody posted the FAMU 03 video, and when PIMP came on, I was like, bruh, you was 100% right about that being true.
It's nothing. You went to what school you went to?
I didn't march. I got family that marched in the Legion. Okay. So the Legion is my heart. I'm VA over everything, but I didn't march. So
yeah, welcome homecoming, nigga.
Hey, Justin, look, you laughing. You don't understand, dog. People be mad at us, dog. Be hitting us with the text daddies, all that. We can't. Hey,
I'm
lying though?
Listen, though. I have received messages in my inbox, and whenever I have said anything about Norfolk that goes against the normal status quo, and I will always say I love my school, I love my band, I will support to the day I die, but they will call, they will hit you up. So I just want to say that last comment, I didn't say that. That wasn't even in. That wasn't even.
Think about when we first got the PV. We were trying to instill this type of pride into them at the time, man. We would never do nothing that's to a detriment of our band. You know what I'm saying? I owe my career to Norfolk State. If I wouldn't have got my degrees and stuff and been a member of the Legion, I wouldn't be where I am. But I also, like I say on the show all the time, when you love something, you have to be able to help it grow. And the only way we're going to grow as Black people, as HBCU bands, as my band, the Norfolk State University Spartan Legion, is to know what we don't do well and improve and want to be better. You have to acknowledge it before you can actually do it. I think Norfolk is, in my opinion, I've said this. Y'all saw who my number one band of the year was. Justin looked at me like I was crazy. Norfolk State was my number one band of the. I mean, sorry, this year Alabama State was my number one band of the year.
I thought so too. They were
undefeated. Because
they didn't face Southern, but they are undefeated. Everybody they faced, they tore.
They deserved it. And Norfolk was my number 2. And it was because they sound better. FAMU was in the top 3 because they sound better. I don't care about the gyration and riding people's back like they opponent and all that stuff. I don't care about that. It's band. I want to see good marching, good spinning, good dancing, and you have to sound good.
I'm sick of the DFF thing with Southern and a couple of other bands that they do during the dance routines where they do the dancing fat Fs. Part of their routine it's played.
Scarfinger, what was number one song of the year before you finish?
Number one song of the year?
Yeah, you haven't answered this question. I asked everybody the same question. Justin was gassing because we all know who Justin like.
I'm with the rest of the fans. I really think he got played out over time, but I really like Power.
That was better than the Young and the Restless?
I think the Young and the Restless, it sounded phenomenal, but then you said it yourself when they weren't under those bleachers. Didn't sound the same. Right. You said it yourself. So, but like Power, like and like if you know that song, he squeezed the juice out of that song because it's a rap daddy, but it's actually like it's a love song. And like what he was able to squeeze out of that song in order to make that song what it was just masterful.
But you also ain't heard me ever say that I didn't like it or it wasn't good. I said I didn't think it was song of the year. I think that,
and I'm with you that Alicia Keys' daddy was trash.
Okay, so let's go ahead and wrap this up. I got to eat, and we got to get out of here. We got a lot of stuff coming. Yeah, Maya, we're gonna talk. All right, so before we get out of here,
I'll be letting go in the chat. Like y'all need to get me in the chat. Come to YouTube because I'll be on YouTube in the chat where y'all can see all of this stuff I'm saying right now. I've said already in the chat.
Okay. All right, Maya, let's go ahead and do it the right way. Yeah. Sorry about that. My bad. I messed it up. Let's do it the right way.
What's good, Mom?
There we go. Maya, any final thoughts, anything you got for the culture?
I mean, delayed but not denied. Okay, that's why I say everything happens for a reason. But absolutely, like this was amazing, and we for sure need some type of part 2 or something or another. I appreciate everyone still wanting to tune in. It means so much. I don't see any analytics or anything like that, but just the engagement from what I've been seeing in the comments, knowing that we're not talking about the particular quote unquote topics, or at least for the length of time that we do, and seeing people so empowered, so willing to speak and willing to have opinions and be vested or invested in what we're talking about means so much. So thank you. Again, like I said, we barely scratched the surface of what we got going on or some things, these conversations. So we can definitely do this in some shape, form, or fashion. Yes, please also thank you. I need to be aware as well because I'm on here looking crazy, but that's what I chose to do by clicking on the camera. So here we are. But like we said, no matter how it looks, we still building community and doing what we need to do. So I thank you everybody for tuning in, and we're gonna do it again next week.
Bruh, if we would have had Sean on here.
Thank you.
Well, me and you gonna talk. All right.
You don't want to get in trouble.
Oh, you gonna get in trouble. Portia, thank you for coming through. Anything you got? Any final thoughts? Anything you got for the culture?
I think overall things can only become a lost art or something that is not included if we allow it to. Anything we want to see remain, we have to put in the effort to make sure that it stays a staple in our programs.
I like that answer. That was really nice. That was amazing. Did you write that?
No, you just asked me to sum up how I was feeling. That's how I'm feeling. It's our responsibility. So
it came out. It was just
effortless.
It was
dynamic, amazing.
Justin, any final thoughts? Anything you got for the culture, brother? Dude, you got to learn to hit that unmute button.
Hello? Yeah.
There you go.
Great show as always, man. I like stirring up pot with y'all because this is gonna be funny as hell. One thing, one thing. I would like to bring y'all, at least Maya, Luke and you, Rick, on my Instagram live one night to make people migrate over here. So if y'all interested in them, my live be popping. I'll be having a couple hundred people over there. You know what I'm saying? So we can have.
They don't want to hear from us, Justin. We don't know what we talking about. We crazy and all this other stuff.
So listen, I think that if we can stir the pot a little bit, like we do on a Tuesday night, to get them to come over here on Wednesday, I know for sure. All you gotta do. You see how y'all reacted when I said Southern is one of the best marching bands, drilling bands in the world. Give me those same reactions, and it's gonna go postal. So yeah, I would just like to migrate some of my followers over here to this show. I think I be telling people all the time, I come on every week because y'all, one, not scared to say things that people be scared to say. Two, y'all funny, and y'all hold it down for that side of the world over there. You know what I'm saying? We go down for the fight. But yeah, man. So
wait, what side of the world? Because I'm from the South. I just went to the MEAC. I mean, but I was raised in the South culture though.
Thank you. I'm very much from Texas.
Right. Oh yeah, I've been forgetting about you. Why you get a pass? But yeah, so look at Rick. But yeah, man. But a nice show, man. I appreciate y'all let me come on every week. But if y'all interested in doing that, trust me, it could go postal. We'll get a lot of people. We do like to watch people. But yeah.
Yeah, bro. Just let us know specific day and time because trying to coordinate it with us is can be difficult. So just kind of let us know ahead of time and we'll try to plan around it.
That's a bet. All right, so I'm going, man.
All right, Rick, any final thoughts? Anything you got for the culture?
Mm-hmm. Y'all already know. Look, let me see what they come out. All right, let me give y'all some water to listen to this week. I've been dripping this hydration for years now, but if you want some good stuff to listen to, that new Lucky Day album. If y'all ain't heard that new Lucky Day album, that's a dope album. Especially the end, man. That album ends really strong. The album is solid throughout. A couple of tracks I was like, but the ending of that album, trust me, is worth it. Especially the last two tracks. I'm like, Jesus, that dude's a musical savant right now. Master Soul Boy is another one. Y'all, his Instagram page is pretty legit. He makes all these little snippets, but he's releasing music now. And I'm gonna go to a GOAT that a lot of people may not know, man. If you've never heard the name James Fauntleroy before, you need to go check out his music, man. This dude has produced for everybody. He did that Justin Timberlake album that went multi-platinum. He's legit. So James Fauntleroy, he has his own material too. Y'all should check him out. For me, hey man, cheer on UConn. We about to go into the tournament. Our first game is tomorrow. We play New Mexico State, so we'll go in and handle business there. And then just overall, man, like I always say, support Black people. We in this together, man. We not enemies. Sometimes it feels that way. And another thing, the HBCU Band Consortium is coming up. So, we say crank that concert band, hit that Chuck, crank that concert band. All right, they about to do that. And finally, like I always say, stop hitting them rap daddies in the fifth. That's all.
Man, you bring that up, man, and you did it so eloquently, man. And talking about, supporting. Go ahead and go over to the store, get you some merch, man. I appreciate you guys for doing that. And talking about no rap daddies in the fifth, we got those shirts ready to go. You know what I'm saying? So hold up, let me get it all the way down there because we got so many. Boom. No rap daddies in the fifth. So if you want to go ahead and pick that up or any of our merchandise that you have, the link is also in the description. I also have it scrolling down at the bottom. Did I take it off? I probably did. But I have it scrolling down at the bottom. If you want to get 15% off your merch, remember right here in the month of March, you can type in the code Luke B Day and get 15% off of your purchase. So if you want to support Black, if you want to continue to say no rap daddies in the fifth and anything else that we have, just go ahead and check out our merch store and you can pick up whatever you need. We got it for ladies, women, and we even got the mask that is, I mean, for those who are still wearing masks, because you know that everybody thought the pandemic is over, but you know, the thing still, you know, it exists. It's still out there. All right. So finally, Scarfinger, any final thoughts? Anything you got for the culture?
Okay, two things. One, I need a Just Ruined shirt in Southern colors and Texas Southern colors. Two, as a fan, the only time that we pay attention to twirlers these days is when they do a toss to see if they drop it or if there's a dude twirler. Those are the two times we actually pay attention to twirlers. So that's completely a lost art, except for when we're seeing if they're going to drop the baton.
I've been trying to hold it in. I'm trying to talk. I'm gonna.
I'll try to take some heat off you, dog, because I know they came after you for the accent thing. So I'll get that heat off you, dog.
No, I'll be all right, but I'm gonna see if what edits I can make to the shirt and what they'll allow me to do, and then I'll put it up, and then you go check it out. And just make sure I'm gonna try to do it while we in the month of March, so you can get that 15% off. I'm sorry, I couldn't hold it in, man. This has actually been great. Oh, let me do this real quick. I said that we were gonna do it before we tip. So as a matter of fact, we'll do it this way. The way we'll go out today is the way we came in. So the way we going out, instead of, you know, the normal way, I'm gonna play the intro that we have, and then other than that, man, you guys are great. This has been amazing show. Not only root for UConn, root for Norfolk State as well. Norfolk State is down here in Fort Worth, and they're playing in the tournament as well. So go ahead and root for Norfolk State. Behold, see, I'm always show love to my alma mater. All right. I saw Derek.
Don't try it now.
No, I was showing love anyway. But I saw Derek. He was in here. I know he got to get to that game.
Hey, Derek. Hey, shout out to Derek. But Derek hit you with the Smiths too. He's like, no, it's tight of your homecoming.
he said it, but then he also said I worked wrong.
You in the clear now.
But yeah, man, there's a lot of people.
Call me, dog. I'm in Richmond. I'll make the trip down. I'll be your shield.
Man,
ain't no homecoming, man.
Let's go ahead and close this out, because I know if we don't, then we'll just keep this thing going, man. This has been a great show, man. We will see you guys next week. Welcome everybody to Talk That Talk, where we have the unfiltered.
You did not come to college to do marching band. Marching band may be helping pay for you to go to school, but at the end of the day, you're there to study music education.
Unscripted.
Priorities are wrong from the elementary perspective, because we're not introducing students to music in an adequate program early enough.
Uncomfortable.
We Black. The Black, yes, you're going to be overlooked if you're not producing, if you're not hanging with the cane, if you're not pumping, if you're not blowing, if you're not busting, if you're not entertaining, if you're not on that top level, if you're not in the high stats of visibility. Yes, you're going to be overlooked, because at the end of the day, we, the Blacks, don't care.
Conversation.
Smiths to Mario.